It's K4K Crypto. Had to wait a day or so after getting back from Vegas because voice was all raspy, trying to make sure it heals. Because I heard about people who they overdo their voice cords continually, and you can permanently damage your voice cords. So I am not trying to do that. But yeah, any questions you guys have about the Vegas trip? What goes on at these things? What kind of stuff can you expect by going to them? Is it worthwhile? If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. I'm going to try and be as interactive with the chat as I can. Had a great time. I'm not going to say it wasn't an amazing time at the Vegas event. Lots of networking. You meet lots of people, lots of crypto people who weren't even in like the Hex community. That was surprising. At some of the events, you meet some people that are really not even really into Hex yet. They barely understand it. They might have heard that maybe an event was sponsored by them, but they don't really understand it yet. So I had some pretty cool conversations with people who were not no coiners, but like big into like NFT or metaverse space or something. So that was really interesting. I'm gonna wait a little bit to get a few more viewers in here before we start sharing stories and everything. But good to see everybody. So cool meeting everyone who did go to Vegas. What an amazing, amazing time. Let's just make sure the audio is working. If you guys can hear me, put a 15 in the chat. Oh, what's up? Good morning in Australia. What's up? What's up? Was up to my expectations? I mean, I would say so. I would say so. It was above my expectations. I'm not a golf guy, and the first event on the first day, and I should wait for these stories. I should wait. I would say, okay, so audio's good. Awesome. Awesome. It's so cool meeting, like, because I got to meet other streamers I got to meet Fashion Coder, got to meet Corey the investor, just really, and like, meeting with Freddie Quotes and all that. I did some of that in the first Hex conference earlier in this year that I went to, but even more so, more hanging out, more talking, spending time together at these events than during the Hex conference, because most people showed up every day for the Hex conference. Um, and so you were kind of waiting and just sitting and listening, unless you like stepped outside to do um, just talking to people. And I was like speaking and stuff during the Hex conference, so I had less time to meet individually with people. Whereas this time, I actually didn't even know, dude. There was so much stuff going on. I didn't even know the Pulse conference was actually like happening until it was like I missed the first day. So I was like, okay, I thought Pulsecon was the Power City fashion show thing. Thought that we just kind of redid that. And so I was like, oh, I had the plans laid out. And then turns out Pulsecon was actually happening for like 2 days. So I missed the first one. And then the next day there was something else that came up that I had already had plans for. So I was like, well, I guess I don't get to go to the Pulsecon part of the event, but there was just things happening every single day. Ended up going to different stuff. Still meeting tons and tons of Hexicans. There was so much stuff even to do at these places that I didn't even get around to seeing like all the parts of like either the houses, mansions, or some of the pools and stuff like that. So there was just so much stuff to do, so many people to talk to, and so little time. Uh, I had every interaction I had, awesome. Uh, really great community, really fun talking to every Uber driver I had. I basically got to talk to them about what are they invested in, what are you curious about investing, and what most people said was they're like, yeah, I've always wanted to invest, I just don't know where to start. They're not in stocks, they're not in crypto or anything, and I'm just like, well, we're all here in Vegas as like a big group. Hundreds of us showed up from across the world. We got people come from Germany, Australia, Netherlands, like literally everywhere on the globe, pretty much. Maybe not Antarctica, but people showing up everywhere. And it's not like there's a company involved with Hex or Pulse Chain, PulseX. Just people who really believe in the product that Richard Hart created, and we're all showing up to support each other, put on these big events, get attention, and just really, like, we're partying in like a bear market. That's pretty. I think this is going to be a big deal moving forward when we move to like the bull market, when almost everything seems to be going up and people are trading in and out of stuff constantly. Like right now, everyone's pretty tight knit with their money. Even still, we have lots of new projects coming out, and people are trading their hex bags for other stuff and hoping it plays out well for them. Uh, I I think you're gonna see over time it's gonna be harder and harder and harder and harder for people to hold on to their Pulsex, and hex bags because everybody else seems to be wanting it more than more than the holders do currently. And so everyone's releasing new projects left and right. It's almost like too much to keep track of in depth for each one. So like, when we get to the point where there's 10 hex derivatives, 20 hex derivatives, like how deep can you really go into each one and be like, how legit is this? Is this actually better than just holding hex? Is it better for the user? And then and there's other projects launching as well from other groups who are trying to get sacrifices as well and do their own thing that they think is better. And it's like, we in my opinion, I think sticking with what Richard Hart puts out, he has the proven track record, he has the most disposable funds to produce this stuff well, has the biggest dev team. I think the proven track record and the 1,000 days of flawless operation code that has 10,000x price performance is a hard, accolade to beat. And so it kind of sets the bar for everything going forward. So like the safest way to make gains in crypto, I feel, is with Richard Hart products, maybe in short time intervals, like maybe for a few months or even a year, like you could maybe outperform one of these assets. But we know that this stuff is solid. We know Hex is solid. That's why there's so much stuff being built on top of it. So I think in crypto, you crush it by being in the stuff that lasts the longest, as long as it has product market fit, like Richard always says. Like you can outperform Ethereum for a while with like some crap coin, some meme coin. You're like, oh, what? We're up 400x and or not 400x, 400% in a week or two. You're like, well, ETH didn't do that. Is this meme coin better than Ethereum? And you're like, no, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. So there's like, you're going to constantly see, like, if you look at the chart of like ETH versus like any other coin that comes out, it's like, all right, which way we want to do this? So ETH is on this incline, right? Meme coin comes out, boom, higher, up, then down forever. Oh, meme coin's doing better, down forever. So like, there's lots of people that try, they have the best intentions and they do their best, but sometimes the best isn't enough. You can't just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, launch it, and be like, well, this should just work. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and actually most of the time it doesn't. So I that's why I try to keep it as pretty mellow and simple, as simple as I can for sharing the Richard Hart stuff on channel. Because if you get too much into the weeds, you may end up getting people screwed that you didn't intend to. And if it all comes crashing down because Hex fails, well then like we're all down. Whereas like some of this other stuff that wasn't necessary, that could have been avoided, in my opinion. Anyway, that's my starting rant. Let's see. I got some 15s in the chat. Just gonna read some stuff here. Cypherpunk, have you claimed weight? I'm not gonna say, but I'd have to look more into it. Wow, this hair is looking wonky today. But yeah, I got some cool Vegas pictures. So there's like a group where everyone's just kind of been dumping their pictures. I hope it's all safe for work. The very first picture doesn't doesn't give me too much hope. Like, hopefully YouTube doesn't ban this, because I'm going to start showing stuff because I haven't looked through it myself yet. So if something weird pops up, please, please don't get me in trouble, guys. I'll have to end the stream if something weird pops up. You argue against Pulsex and how it potentially could fail? I mean, it's very unlikely, but like if some other DEX on the chain gets like better adoption, then maybe it takes some of its volume. But I think that we have the advantage of all of the coins in Pulse or in Uniswap and SushiSwap, including like V3, as far as I know now, there's been an entity on testnet who has basically emptied out like Aave, Uniswap v3, all of those of all their tokens, and they basically have them. So I'm guessing that's probably the Richard Hart team, and they're going to be able to use that as deploying that liquidity into pools paired with Pulse. And so it should have the most coin liquidity out of like all the PRC20s. So it's going to be hard to overtake that. Like nothing's overtaken Uniswap, and they don't even have a freaking like they don't even have anything special with their token, your coin. You don't get anything benefit from holding it except for just some speculation, I guess. But at least with Pulse X, you can stake it or other stuff. You can also experience the buy and burn pressure of any volume on the DEX. Means people are selling every other coin in existence on Pulse Chain to buy Pulse X in small amounts. And whenever you have thousands of coins with billions of dollars of buy pressure, volume, you get hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars of buy pressure every single day for Pulse X. So it really is an impressive asset that Richard Hart created. So I'm very excited about that. Oh, what do we got here? Let's let Jim more punk. What's going on here? Hey, what's up, man? Dude, I can't choose how my hair grows or what happens. I guess I'm experiencing life in this direction. But yeah, I mean, I'm not the type of guy to go to just party to party. You know, I was having fun at the parties, talking to people, mingling, like meeting just some really big hitters. Like I finally got to meet Funding Jim. That guy's freaking awesome. He's even more impressive in person. Very sociable guy. Very not serious, but he chooses his words very carefully and well, and you can just tell this guy has experience networking and talking with people. You're like, okay, Funding Jim, you're super good at this. Like I'm so like I'm even more excited about the future when you meet these people who are such experts at their craft in our space and they believe in the same things we do. And you're like, okay, well, can all of these super successful people all be wrong? I mean, it's possible, but like it gives me more hope in the future of this whole ecosystem the more I meet hexagons in real life. Like I'm just more impressed. I'm not like I don't meet them and I'm like, ah, man, they really didn't know what they were talking about. No, it's like, oh, they really do, but even more so, they got more stuff in the works, more stuff they're working on, always working towards building adoption for this product because it's so good, you know? So yeah, that's Johnny Chaos. I love your videos, man. You're putting out lots of good, you know, you're recentering everybody with your videos and the content you put out. Because a lot of people get lost in the weeds and some people start talking about something else in the community and then some people follow that and hey, maybe good luck to you, but we know this other thing's been working for 1,000 days. That's safe, you know. Safe, but also huge potential. That's hard to find in crypto. Like we imagine getting in on like an awesome 95% dip in Ethereum. You got like, when did we get that cycle? Many tens of X at least in the last cycle. And that's Ethereum that's been out for 6 years. So getting a 95% dip in something like Hex that has huge potential, it's been making returns almost at twice the speed that Bitcoin has on its run up to 6.9 million X returns. And that took 12 years. So maybe by the 6-year mark, we could be there. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, I really appreciate Johnny Chaos for always, you know, he speaks his mind, he shares how he feels, and people react accordingly. You know, some people don't want to hear what he has to say. Maybe it's a conflict of interest. People have different things that they support because of how it supports them, and so that's what they mainly talk about, stuff like that. So I like how Johnny he always tells it how it is. Even he tells me my hair looks punk now. So instead of Jimmy Neutron, he tells you how it is. Anyway, I got some cool pictures to show everybody. Just want to read the chat one more time before we switch. Meet anyone from Pulsepot team? No, I actually didn't. Some guys were talking to me about it. I'm not gonna Dude, there's so many teams like launching stuff. I just want what's best for the majority of people. Majority of people aren't in crypto at all. Okay. So that's the people we need to be going and getting. It's like, do we need more people? Like, if I hope people are actually like they really care about just getting new people into crypto because it's the best possible thing for them. So if that's what people are building, more power to you. I just I only had enough time today to finally make a live stream because I had to like recover from healing and all that and sleeping after all the flying and whatever. Uh, like the conversations I've had, I'm still digesting them, still following up with people about, we're going to do more interviews on this channel. I thinking about reaching out into even totally different communities because that's where the new people are. Like maybe going to TwitchCon, maybe other crypto conventions as hexagons, as like a group, go there asking questions, getting people to think about, the fundamental success rate of whatever they're in versus what we've got, and see if we can get some like people interested in this crypto movement, the hex movement that we've got going on, because it seems to have been working out great for lots of people. All right, let me see here. Did I meet Dogcast? Oh yeah, dude. We got some good photos together. Me, him, Rolo, from the Rational Mail podcast. Got to meet him. Got to shake his hand. Super cool, dude. Dollar Cost is doing awesome work. Check him out as well. I did tweet out that if anybody who was at the Vegas meetup or is a streamer, they can DM me on Twitter, and we can have a back and forth on this stream. It's kind of last minute, but I also didn't want it to make it like a big event where like every streamer is going to come onto this channel. I didn't feel like I just wanted to stream today, get something out, share my experience with people as it's still fresh in my mind. All right, let's see. I met Dollar Cost. I did. I saw T Money. I shook his hand at the Nagabo mansion party. Good look for you, bro. Just playing. Oh, word. Thanks, man. All right. I had powder to purchase big into hex. Yeah. Oh yeah. If you guys haven't seen, maybe you guys have all seen. If you're following and you're on this stream, you're probably already seen my two most recent very bullish alpha videos for PulseX and Pulse Chain. Because I pointed out something that almost nobody else has for Pulse Chain, and it's basically that you're essentially able to buy better Ethereum at a discount, which is like, oh, well, that shouldn't be possible. But that's basically what Pulse Chain has allowed us to do based on how these liquidity pools are going to line up and how this largest airdrop is going to play out. Is we are essentially getting a larger it's easier and cheaper from US dollars perspective, which is most people have to get into crypto. It's actually cheaper to get a larger allocation of Pulse Chain and the PRC20s than it is of Ethereum and its ERC20s. So, and we're thinking there's more upside on the Pulse Chain side than on Ethereum. That's just what the chart looks like for that stuff. So with something new versus something old, usually new does better if it has product market fit. I think Pulse will have that. It is high risk, high reward. We haven't seen it launch yet, so we'll see how that all goes. But really, it could be as freaking big as Ethereum's launch back in the day when that price performance is amazing. And ours is very similar, but better. So we should do better. Just like Hex should do better than Bitcoin. It has been doing better than Bitcoin since its launch. Or its bottom, I guess. What's up, Monica? Got a picture with her. I got to start showing pictures. We got 130 people in here now. I'll start showing some pictures in case you guys haven't seen anything yet. Jim Rat, what's up? Hey, what's good, fam? Yo, what's good with you, dude? Jim Rat is a freaking boss. Okay, check out his daily show. He has one every single day because he's insane, I think. So no, just kidding, Jim Rat. But yeah, he's really good with the mic. He was walking around doing like live interviews. People are like, "Yo, Jim Rat, here's the mic. Go ask people questions," and the guy just goes and does it, no problem. So really admire him for his abilities to just be on when he has to. livening up events. He's just like a really great guy. Got to talk with him, and we got each other's back at these less than well, I won't say, but we got each other's backs at these events. Us Hexicans always looking out for each other, and Jim Rat's a good guy. All right, let me turn on. I might change something here. Crypto in the morning. Crypto Artie, I got a picture with him at the thing. Here we go. There we go. That's the first picture. So I'm gonna show some event because there's only like 60 people in this Telegram group. So I imagine most of the Hexagon Pulse community hasn't seen some of the events unless random pictures that show up on Twitter. And I don't know if it's meant for everybody to be able to join and like spam it up. So I'm not gonna like say the name of the channel. But yeah, we can go through some of these pictures. I met her, super wonderful woman. Hexabula and Christina. I think this was at the fashion show. Oh, guys. Okay. All right. I'm gonna need some Pulse X's in the chat if you want to see what I wore at the fashion show. I'll show you guys. I'll pull it up to the camera nice and close so you guys can see it. But I'm gonna need at least we're gonna say at least 20 Pulse X's in the chat before I do that. But yeah, I'll keep this going until we get that. I can show you guys the actual awesome Suzanne art, like one of a kind stuff that she was letting us wear for the fashion show. Very cool. These are the Richard Hart cutout is so cool. There's Crypto Coffee. I got to see him and SJ. It was super fun. There's so many people there. I'm gonna feel bad if I can't remember exactly everybody's name during people stuff. But Crystal Method was there and DJ Lethal. Super awesome. How many Pulse X's is that, guys? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Pulse Sexy. I'll give that a 2. That's a 2x bonus to Pulse X. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, we only got 13, guys. It's not enough bullishness. That's Kool-Aid and Hex Dex. Some people in the background. Oh, I think I see my good friend Matt in the back there. He's a really cool guy, the guy with the cool shirt in the background. Yeah. But these guys are super awesome. Got a good talk with Hex Dex and Kool-Aid. These are guys who have been in the community for a long time, very smart individuals. They might not come out super public all the time, but they're always at these events and they're always, supporting the people in the community. Let's see. Did we get even more? Let's see here. I'll go through all of them. We've got Pulse X. Boom. Dude, Pulse X is going to be so crazy. I'm so excited. There we go. Let's go through a couple more. Look at this player, dude. This is the kind of stuff that happens in Vegas at our meetups, guys. It's so fun. Like if you can make it, like, obviously buying coins and buying crypto definitely beats ROI of probably going to these events. I try to stay as cheap as possible. Like, I'm not trying to overpay for a hotel room. Most of the time you're not staying in the room anyway. You just go out and you meet everybody else. You go out to eat, Uber places. It's really cheap to Uber places. Like, most Uber rides I had were probably like $10, and I usually give like a 50% tip. But like, it's really cheap because there's so many like Uber drivers in the area, and it's all throughout the night. So like, even if you stay up really late, it really doesn't ever get too expensive to just drive around with Uber. It's really, really nice. Plus, it's a great chance to onboard. Like, I gave out so many metal business cards to people, and then when I ran out of those, I started giving out the paper ones that I had, and telling people about the channel, like, because they were like, "Oh, do you make stuff?" It's like, yeah, I guess I make YouTube videos, but there's like 100+ of us in the community, all about Hex ecosystem, like, and they're really interested, guys, because people are looking for a place to earn them yield without, too much upfront cost, too much overhead, too much to learn. it's very daunting, and you have to trust like the person you're talking to. Like, does this person know what they're talking about? Um, like, how successful have they been with it? And so I think just there's lots of different ways to getting through to people, but I try to just come at it from, hey, have you heard of like stocks? Like, do you know how well they perform? Well, there's this thing that's been out for a while that has outperformed that for a long time, and it's actually easier to get in. And I know people who have put in $100 to become millionaire. Like, there's so many ways to spin it to make it people interested enough to put in that initial effort to learn about it even more, and then they can make their own decision. I try not to push it too hard. Like, I just kind of say, hey, we're all here for this event. That's why we're here. And, it just did so well for us. It's pretty cool. Like, if you are interested, check this out. And I try not to like push it like, you gotta look into it. Cause then it's like you're trying too hard. Anyway, that's how I see it. But really good fun in the calls, in the carbs, I mean. Because people are they're really interested in just learning about crypto as an opportunity. Because I think what most people see about crypto is in like if they watch the news, which lots of people watch the news, they just hear, oh, it's down 50%. They're like, whew, glad I didn't get into crypto. It would have been down 50%. And then, but the news never talks about the 6.9 million X run up in Bitcoin and how majority of people in the past are like way better off than just the last people in the last year who aren't doing so hot. But really they, if you go back to like 2017, the people were talking about the crash and everything and how it went down to 3K. Well, people who bought at 3K and wrote it to 69,000 did like 20x their money. They like, is that 20x? Something like that. So like 20x. And you're like, so if I listen to the news, I just lose. And if I watch YouTube videos about crypto, at least the right stuff, I can start to win. And so I think that's the switch in people's brain is like, they can't believe they can get such good information for free. Um, growing up in the normal school system, there always has been that, at least growing up for me, was the push to go into college and go into debt to get a degree and then not use the degree and get a different job anyway that doesn't pay very well. That's like what I remember thinking about college. And I was like, oof, that doesn't seem like that's going to work for me. Like, obviously, some jobs, like if you want to become a doctor, you got to go to college. But where you invest your money, no matter what job you have, it better be in something that has the best returns possible and the least downside and the most upside. That so people either do stocks, real estate, start a business, or crypto. So crypto seems to outperform everything, has the least work required. Everybody can participate. Hex is immutable code, has no admin keys, there's no middleman. It's just you and the code, and it goes up in value as more people find out about it, just like a business does. What do you think businesses do? They market so that you get more people to come in so they can buy the stuff, and then you can make extra profit. Well, we just have that, but we have like the best product possible because it's just better money. So there's really no overhead. Our overhead is time. The longer you wait, the more you get. It's like a super fair system. I really love it. I love that there's been no issues for over 1,000 days. That's such a good selling point. I always share that now whenever I'm talking with people about Hex Crypto versus like any other project. I'm like, well, we've been in flawless operation for 1,000 days. Most crypto projects, if you talk to somebody, they're like, oh, well, we're on version 2.5 because it's hack or something like that. And you're like, oh, dude, just get out of that. Check this out. No bugs, no flaws, just price up and more coming. Let's get some more pictures going. This was at the fashion show. All right, we got enough Pulsec stuff. I guess I can show you guys. All right. Let's see. My Ubers are about 10 to 15. Yep. I think on for some reason the one day I had like a $30 or $40 Uber, maybe 2 different days for a little bit farther area. It must have been like a weird time of the day, I think. But most of them were like $10 to $15, really good Uber rides, and you just talk a little bit. You don't always have to talk, but if I'm feeling it and I got time, I share the opportunity. It's like, hey, this could change your life forever if you're interested. Go ahead. Like that's like it feels selfish to not share it. That's how I feel about crypto and the Pulse chain ecosystem and all that. All right. Hex Monkey in the house. Met him as well. I met him at the initial Hex conference, but also at this one. Really good. It was great meeting you too. Awesome time, dude. Met so many awesome people. And everyone's just so nice. Like, not a bad interaction. Everyone just is looking out for each other, at least in the Hex community. I don't know about the other ones, but I had some good conversations and I'm gonna I'll show you guys the fashion stuff before I get too far into other stories. Yes, it's a Minecraft shirt. I don't play, but you know. All right. So this is the Suzanne art. Where's the it's on this side? SA. So I wore this during the fashion show. Hope you guys can still hear. Pulsechain.com. So it's so cool because like back in the changing room, they were doing interviews as well. And I don't think anyone's seen that footage yet. And so people like I got interviewed with like Jesse at Just Ask Jesse. And let's see what were people talking about. Oh yeah. Well, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. And so apparently there's going to be a community made documentary separate from the Highest of Stakes by like either the Power City team who held the fashion show, or just some other individual. I'm not sure on who's running it, but there's going to be another one based on just this week. Just an awesome show. Shout out to Suzanne. If you go to suzannearts.com, I believe that is her site. So, she let us keep some people got to keep some of the stuff. I heard she took back some dresses, but she did let us keep these shirts, and I got some other stuff to show you guys. But these are Swarovski crystals, hand laid by herself. Pretty sure. It's very delicate, so I don't know how often I'll be able to wear it, but boy, do these things shine, guys. So cool. Okay, my man, what's up? The Bitcoin ban? Yeah. Yeah, there's like a bill or something that they're trying to stop crypto mining or something in the US and make it bannable. We'll see. We'll see. All right. What do we got? Check it out. She said she made it since I'm K for K, this is pulse to pulse. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't give her any good ideas myself. So these were all I'm not saying this is a bad idea, but I was too tired whenever I initially got into the fashion show like months ago or something when they asked. And so I didn't come up with any designs myself. So these are all her ideas, but I think she does all custom art. So if you want a specific design, like if you like Paul Sachs and you want Swarovski crystal, like iced out looking, let's see. There we go. There we go. If you want that, I'm sure you can contact her and ask for a specific, piece tailored to you. There's the SA. Anyway, let's see what else we got. Oh, there we go. Me and Richard hanging out. What's up? All right, let's put this over here. We got a hat. Like there was just really cool stuff people were showing off. Like this has Pulse X on it, Pulse on it, uh, Hex on it, and then we got Pulse Chain dot, or at least Pulse Chain on it. It'll focus. All right, it's trying. Anyway, even the lining inside has like the pulse symbols. That's so cool. Let's see. Oh, and the one last piece I wore for the fashion show. Let's see. Was this jacket? There, it's got this patch on it. Faster, cheaper, better, pulsechain.com. Awesome. It's got an orange inline, I guess. What's it say? To the moon! I think it says something over here. Magic carpet ride. And then on the back, of course, the Pulsex Permabull has to wear this. What we got? Pulsex. Pretty sweet. So yeah. There. So, I just thought I'd show off some of that cool stuff that I got. I'm so lucky to be a part of that she actually made that stuff for me to wear. It was so fun. Update live Anders. Boy, these things do shine. There's KG. Yeah, KG, if you're ready, you can, and you DM me on Twitter, I could invite you to the stream. I'm probably gonna stream for like another maybe hour or so. Just showing off some stories, some cool stuff that happens in Vegas. Most of it stays in Vegas, but hey, some of the stuff we're showing off for fun. This was part of the catwalk right at the end. You get some extra photos. So we got Funding Jim, we got Freddie and his wife, and then that's Suzanne with the dress that has all the numbers on it. So super cool. Bonus, you got some nice threads. Yep. He says happy to jump on. Yeah. Like and it's so cool meeting people in person. You really get to, it shows that they have not just an interest, but they're willing to put money into it as well, into their personality in person, along with like making online content. Like they're in it enough to be able to show up in person, have a talk with you, share information with you, and be a real person with you, as opposed to just through a screen. There's a lot of things you can do on a screen that you really can't do in person. You can't fake that. And so, I'm not saying lots of people are faking online, but it's really just cool to see that we're all so well rounded outside of just videos and the screen as well. And I know if you guys show up to the next events, I don't want to give people super high expectations, but I don't think you'll be disappointed. Like I go in, like I didn't expect to keep any of this stuff. I was just going, I was like, I'm going to wear it, support Suzanne. I'm just happy to have a fun time at a fashion show, and I'm lucky enough to be in it. And then it turns out by the end of the night, she said, we can keep the stuff, so I go in with level headed expectations, and sometimes you get blown away and have an awesome time. And so I had a great time meeting everybody in Vegas. Let me send the StreamYard link. See what else we got here. There's Marco. It's so cool being around so many people interested in the same stuff. All right, let me send the invite link. Copy. All right. All right, I sent the invite to KG. All right. So much fun. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm still getting messages from people to this day. People asking about if they're able to sacrifice for Pulsex, will they still get Pulsex? And I'm like, no, you won't. You have to wait for launch day, and you have to buy at launch. So, there's still people. We've been building up more and more and more people who know about Pulse Chain and Pulsex, and I don't know if we're there yet, but there might be a certain point where there's more people who know about it than actually got to participate in it. So, like in the sacrifice part, the early allocation part. And so, what does that mean? Those people who want some of it, they have to get it after launch. There's no more get a portion of the initial supply. Remember, there's never going to be more. It's not like, oh, you can do this and earn more. Oh, you can mine and earn more. You can stake it and earn more. it's not going to be minting new inflation. The supply will never increase. So there might be ways of getting it. So I think I mean, I don't want to accuse anyone, but there's like definitely some projects out there that aren't well thought out enough, but they are accepting, funds, and I'm sure they're more likely to buy Pulsex, and Hex than like anything else. Um, so on launch day, there's going to be lots and lots of buy pressure IMO, and I don't think the big whales in the system who got those early allocations are going to let the price drop below their entry to where another whale could come in and get it like more supply than they have at a better price. They're more likely to just buy it up themselves, and they've had, I think, over a year now of time to build up capital in order to buy up even more at launch. So that's why I see, I've made videos on this, but if you want to see how I see the launch going, just look at how Ethereum launched and what they did for their ICO, where they traded in Bitcoin to get a certain ratio of Ethereum. I think it was 2,000 to 1. And so per Bitcoin, you can get 2,000 Ethereum. And nowadays, you can only get, what is it? I think Richard did a post on this. It was like 13 Ethereum for one Bitcoin or something like that. So Ethereum just basically crushed it. And I did the math backwards on it. You actually get like 150x your Bitcoin if you would have just traded in all of your Bitcoin for Ethereum at the beginning, waited, and then you just switch back to Bitcoin. You would have had 150x your Bitcoin if you liked Bitcoin so much. And then all these Bitcoin maximalists are like, oh, we're the best. We make the least gains. You need billions to move our price a little bit. And we're like, what? What's the roadmap? What are you guys building on? Like, 10-minute confirmations? If you guys haven't tried to like send stuff on Bitcoin and waited and waited and waited and waited, then you don't understand like how much better like 13-second blocks are. And we think, sometimes those feel a little bit slow. Well, Pulse Chain's even faster than that, 4 times faster at least. We're down to 3-second blocks instead of 13. So that's a huge innovation, huge value. Very excited for that. Was a blast meeting you, dog. Agreed. Crypto Boogie, what's up? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I actually got to meet Briz. That was pretty fun. Oh, KG's here finally. I don't know how long he's been waiting. Let's add him to the stream. Say hello. Let's see. I guess we'll make it 2-person like that. Let me. I'm gonna switch my. Okay. Let me switch it to full screen. There we go. Hey man, how you doing?
Good, bro. How are you?
Oh, nice. We can hear you. If everybody in chat, if you can hear KG well, put a put a pulse in chat.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, that's even better. Yeah, even better.
Perfect. Hello,
dude. Good to see you. Oh, you're wearing a Hex hat. Are you are you playing to your audience, sir?
Dude, I have 5 of these hats, believe it or not. I just like as the other ones get busted, I just throw on the new one.
How do you bust hats so often?
I wear them a lot. And I have kids, man. Kids change the game.
Word.
Ketchup hands, they don't do good.
Oh no, ketchup on the Pulsecon logo, man. Come on. It blends in if they get it on the red at least.
Right. So, but they're not really good at aiming, so
Dude, it was so cool meeting you, and we got to have several different conversations in different settings. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on the whole Pulsecon week as a whole for yourself.
Nothing but incredible. Like, it was my first meetup in the community, and I heard you talking about like, going in person has a different thing to it. And dude, meeting everybody else in the community, it adds a layer to the friendship and the camaraderie and overall community building. Like, being there, we're so much more than just a crypto group.
Yep.
It's hard to put into words. It's a tight bond.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely like strengthened. Like, I don't know what I expected, but it definitely didn't like take away from my thoughts of where we were going in the community and, what we have our sights set on. It made me feel like, oh man, I am in the right place at the right time.
Yes.
Like, it was, and yeah, I mean, I'm really curious. Like, that's why I want to go into other communities and in person and see how it feels compared to a like, because like if I've only experienced the Pulse and PulseX and Hex community, I'd be like, oh, they all must be like this. If I go to a different convention, it's probably the same, but it might be totally different. Like maybe there it's a totally different vibe. So I'm very curious, and I'd like to be able to go into those spaces where I'm the minority as opposed to we're all the majority, and like some other random crypto guys show up. I want to be showing up and talking to like 20, 30 guys about our stuff. Maybe they hadn't thought it through, and then we can potentially onboard a whole group, you know.
I hear you completely on that. Right when everybody at that gathering was already sold on the ecosystem.
Right.
Whereas going into another community, it's like, hey, let me tell you about what we got going on over here.
Yeah, it was super fun, and I loved your hat with like the going across. That was so cool. I think I might have posted it on my Instagram. So if people want to see some extra special Instagram footage of that aren't anywhere else, you can check out the Instagram there. Um, really fun time with everybody though. What do you think was your favorite day if you had to pick one? Did you attend each like day? I'm not sure how many days you were there.
Yeah, I went to every event except Pulsecon itself,
I did
which is
that too. Okay, so I'm not the only guy who just somehow missed PulseCon. Like I just had stuff scheduled and I didn't even know. Like I would have scheduled for going to PulseCon. Like the news was there was so much stuff going on. So
there was.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I don't know. The pool party was kind of cool because it was like I don't know, like a more intimate setting in a way where like there wasn't like crazy loud music and you're able to
mm,
actually talk to people. And we were
yeah,
there for a few. It was during the day, so people weren't already like zooted for the night. You had like some more sober conversations with people.
true.
So I don't know. That was pretty. And then the Power City party was really cool, man. So
Yeah. Yeah, that fashion show was pretty fun. Like, I'm not a runway model, dude,
dude, you
but I
killed
was
it.
walking on the path. I guess it was just so fun. You know, it was just like a community event just for us, just to have fun and lay back. You know,
Oh, I think it was great, dude. And DJ Lethal, oh my gosh, did he throw down, dude? I, I've said this so many times. I showed up to that venue with my hair in a ponytail, but then he played Rage Against the Machine, and it was just like I couldn't stop my arms from bringing the ponytail down, and I went into full headbang. It just happened. There's no
you just
stop.
you just start headbanging.
I couldn't resist.
No, that's awesome, man. Oof. I wonder if like can can these events keep getting 10x better? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like, okay, how did we make this even better than I'm not to say not to downplay like what Maddie accomplished, because I think that was awesome as well, but I think this one was just a little bit even better, you know. I think the people just are so excellent that no matter what we do, we're gonna have a great time.
Hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to the more future events. I heard there's like a cruise coming up. Like, what's that? Have you heard about that?
Yeah, apparently there's a Hex Cruise in April, and KSB.TV is the place to get the details there. And
Oh,
I,
sweet.
they're- yeah, so they're using it. It's kind of interesting onboarding tactic because you force a bunch of people to be on the boat with you. They can't escape you.
Yeah, I did hear that concern. People were like, "Oh, you can't get away from people you don't want to talk to." I'm like, I mean, I don't know that many or anyone that I didn't want to talk to, but I guess that could happen. So that's a risk. But
Well, but
I've
also for
actually
the
I've
sorry.
actually never been on a cruise, so I think this one might be the the best opportunity to just try it out. Because then it's like a combo of like you're networking, you're meeting people in your same ecosystem, and you get to have fun on a cruise. So it's like the perfect combo. It's like I feel like crypto gives us all not that like I don't think partying is the best way to onboard new people. Is because there's just like lots of parties and meeting people going on, but it does like it gives as long as you use it to fuel more creation, more sharing. I think that it does have a positive impact on the whole group as a whole. So I'm trying to use this and some content that I got from it in order to further get more people into crypto, change their lives financially, then they can enjoy this same stuff. You know, like I never in a million years I think I'd be on a fashion runway show, you know. But I made YouTube videos about game theory and somehow I
You're
somehow I'm
walking down
there.
the runway.
No, it doesn't. I don't know how that matches up, but I'm it's like crypto made this all possible, so I got to give credit where credit's due. And then on top of that, it's what Richard Hart created. So I'm like, credit to Richard Hart. Everybody already knows that's why we're all here. But I always like to give credit where credit's due, you know?
Sure. Dude, I mean, to me, from the outside perspective, it's like pretty obvious why people want you so involved. You bring incredible value to the community. And it's like, man, if we could put K for K on it, let's go. Fashion show, put him on stage. It doesn't matter. Get him in there. It's like dropping the legendary card, you know? Bam, he's in.
Legendary, what? It was so fun. Like, I don't know, it's odd, I guess, to meet people who like my stuff in person that I haven't like met before. It's a little odd. Like I love the interaction. It's obviously a positive one. Someone comes up and is like, "I love what you do." Like that's not a bad interaction, right? So that's a good one.
No. Yeah.
And usually haters don't come to events like that to just hate on you. So it's almost always a great interaction. And you know, it's actually encouraging because like if people are coming to events and they like the stuff, then I must be doing something right. So, you know, I think Richard goes a step further. Like he even if initially people hate what he's doing, he knows what's working, and so he'll keep doing it.
Sure.
Like the outreach marketing, you know, he gets lots of pushback, but hey, look at his numbers. He's growing faster than anybody else in the community. So, what do you guys want? You want less growth or more growth? It's like, well, he found this way, even though it's controversial. Well, maybe that's a feature, not a bug, you know. Um, so like if I feel like if I want to grow too, like we got to do even more. Not that we all have to do controversial stuff, but I think getting a little bit outside the comfort zone of doing whatever you think everybody wants versus what you think yourself would work the best, and just trying stuff as long as you have good intentions and just seeing what's worked for other people. I don't see what's wrong with trying different stuff, trying to get as many people into crypto as possible.
No, I hear you completely. And there's a quote, I can't remember who said it, but the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. So
That's a good one.
So yeah, stepping outside of our comfort zones is very important. But I also think it's equally important that we each play to our niche, because each one of us has a strength that's going to attract a different person. And
Mhm.
the beauty of crypto is it's for everybody. So whether you're, I don't even know, whatever your demographic is, we need somebody in that demographic.
I don't think anybody needs to see K4K twerking. It might be on video that may come out at some point. I did I think 3 twerks. I counted
No
each one.
no expectations of
But
the
no
twerk.
expectation of twerk from others. So, but yeah, oh man, so excited. Well, I mean, I guess if is there anything else you wanted to talk about on your experience at the events or your because aren't you building a wallet?
We are.
So, I
Yep.
mean, I don't know if we should do it on this video, but I mean, I'm interested about what you guys are working on because I think they pulled you aside and had a a conversation as well.
They did. And yeah, I'm happy, whether it's now or later, I'm happy to talk about it, answer any questions about it. I'm
Yeah,
not going
well,
to say
go ahead. We'll talk about it just for the
okay,
people who stuck around. They can hear about your project.
cool. I appreciate that. So we are building a multi-chain EVM wallet like MetaMask with, but it is native to Pulse Chain. So if you download it, you're automatically connected to Pulse Chain. You don't have to do anything else to be on Pulse Chain. We are building out our whole UI and ecosystem is geared towards simplicity, and our mission statement is onboard new users into crypto through Pulse Chain. So everything we're doing is geared towards that narrative. Now, we have 2 tokens in our ecosystem. Okay. So we have internet money, or IM. So take a step back. Our whole ecosystem is the internet money ecosystem. And we have internet money, wallet, and then the token internet money. And it's deflationary peer-to-peer digital cash. And it has a buy and burn mechanic to it. And its whole narrative is get adopted for goods and services. Pretty basic token. But then where our wallet gets super beautiful, I love it so much, is we actually have the first token of its kind. So our wallet, like all other wallets, will charge fees when you swap from one asset to another. The difference with the internet money wallet is those fees are charged in the form of the blockchain's native coin. So if you're on Pulse, it's a Pulse chain, it's charged in Pulse. If you're on Ethereum, it's charged in ETH, so on and so forth. Those fees get deposited into a smart contract. And the holders of our native token, longest name in crypto, Internet Money Wallet Dividend, or WD, we call it the dividend token, they receive those fees as passive income. And you don't have to stake your tokens. You don't have to lock them up in any way. You just hold the token and you earn wallet fees in the form of Pulse, ETH, BNB, and other native
And the
coins.
wallet fees. So basically, are you guys like, have you seen my video about Richard Hart's wallet potential?
I have.
Is that basically what you guys are doing?
Yes. And
yep.
So
you guys have like, just like how MetaMask has that like service fee of 8.875 or whatever, is yours similar to that? And then you use that to do the buying burn of your own token?
So our fee, it's similar, but it's a little less. Ours is 0.729, and a portion of the dividend. So there's WD and there's IM. So WD is the dividend token, the passive income token. A portion of that supply is set aside, and that accrues fees, and then it uses those fees to buy and burn the other token. So if the wallet theoretically does more volume, then more internet money gets bought and burned.
Gotcha. One second. I'm trying to wrench Hex Monkey real quick.
Go ahead. Take your time.
No, I can't. All right. Oh. There we go. I made Monkey wrench. So now there's some Hex haters in the chat. They're like, Hex is lame or something. It's like, what? Why are you in? And they even had Pulse X in their name. It's like, guys, we're all in the same ecosystem. I have to bash the other ones.
Oh yeah, we're about Hex, and I see the spook calling out the one bad day in this space I had. It's all good. I already apologized for that, buddy. I had a bad day.
What happened? You had a bad day?
Oh man, it keeps coming up. I can't get away from it. So there was one day that I was, again, I have kids, so I'm already always tired. Well, then I thought it'd be a good idea to stay up really late, and I was just deep diving into the rabbit holes of chain analysis, and I found some things that I thought were weird at the time. I went on the next day. I was on Jim Rat Crypto's show. It wasn't even about this. It just ended up coming out. I passionately accused Richard of selling some things, and I was wrong for that, and I apologized publicly. Okay. This is the third time I'm apologizing publicly. It was just a bad
that
day.
Sucks, dude. Oh man. No, that's one of the risks of, as you grow, what you say has more and more weight, so you got to be even more careful, because like the same with like the whole, if anybody knows about the guy Tate, he got canceled basically off of everything, whether it was rightful or wrongful. He claimed it was because people took things out of context and little clips and made him look bad, when he's doing all this other stuff. And his strategy basically was like, yo, I have to be so careful with what I say, because literally millions and millions of people are watching. And so even if how can he say everything even within a 1 to 2 second clip possibility that nothing can be used against him? And it's basically like, oh, it's not possible, you're going to be misconstrued. But to go even further, because I guess you're accepting now that what you said was not accurate. So you're just apologizing for that. So
Well, because
yeah,
I couldn't prove my accusations. Sure,
right.
things looked weird on chain, but what does that mean? Things look weird on chain all the time. I couldn't prove anything about it. I was
Yeah.
just tired and angry the next day. And so I just said dumb things that I was like all worked up about.
Yeah.
And it's like now it's on the internet forever. I can never get away from it. So it's like that's what happened.
I feel you, man. Yeah, and people. That's why I try to do as much research as possible before I post a video. Especially like doing live streams are cool and fun, more interactive, and stuff. But I like to make that evergreen stuff. That's why I like making the security wallet videos, showing people what the value of crypto is, because that's going to be valuable forever. And if you ever do like
Yeah.
something like if you do like a video on math or something, if it's wrong or someone can correct you, then you can always take it down and you can update it. And actually, your reach still has good power with it because it has updated information. It shows that you go back and you fix mistakes. I think it's better that people they fix their mistakes rather than pretending they never happened. I think that's much better and more honorable, in my opinion, when people go back and like either adjust something uh, to fix the updated worldview. Like even Richard did that. He was a Bitcoin maximalist. People still kind of give him crap for that years later because they're still on the old team.
Yeah.
Like they should update their worldview if they want. Like, what are they in Bitcoin for? And then it gets into like, oh, I care about the fundamentals or something. You're like, okay, buddy.
Yeah,
Well,
sure you do.
if you did any of these other things, you could have more of the thing that you think has better fundamentals. So
Yeah, exactly.
at what point do you like throw in the hat or the flag or glove or whatever you want to call it and like updating your worldview to the better stuff? It happens all the time. Technology is is ramping up in speed. Like it's really crazy. Like ever since I started making these videos, I've always said about crypto that the next best possible money could be created at like any day. It keeps happening. Like we just keep creating like okay, Bitcoin was the best for a while. It was like the only decentralized money. Wow, get in. But also everybody's calling it a scam ever since the beginning. Still are.
Hamas
Like
still calls it a
Charlie
scam.
Munger and Warren Buffett, they call it rat poison squared, literally. And they're billionaires. So you're like, okay, well, they know that their voice has lots of weight. Why would they say that? I'd actually really be curious if, like, imagine if they got to talk with Richard. I feel like Richard would just like really lay in the knowledge into them, and maybe he could, or at least we could learn something from their side that I haven't discovered yet. Maybe they know something that we don't know. Like, oh, maybe maybe crypto is rat poison squared. But these guys, I don't know. They don't do 8-hour live streams with their community and share information like Richard does, and show you charts and how this stuff's been working out. They have Charlie Munger and them. They weren't mining Bitcoin in first quarter 2011, knowing how blockchain works and what actually works and what doesn't. So like I really trust Richard's opinions on things versus these old money guys who are using the fiat system and just they've just been around a long time. And so they've been long for a long time in the stock market and stuff. And so that's why they're super successful, but they're also very, very, very old now. So like they've had like 40 more years than Richard has to amass wealth. But look how well Richard's doing at his age, right?
Oh yeah.
It's because he's in the stuff that appreciates higher than and faster than anything else in the world. And so we all have that opportunity to ourselves as well. And I've shared this in person, I think, with some people, but I don't think I've said it on stream. But like, there's a possibility for people that are like younger than Richard. It's actually possible to be richer than he was at those moments in their life. Like when he was 28 or 27 or 30, we might actually get more gains than he was able to get from Bitcoin and his early investments and stuff because of the great cryptocurrency that he's invented. So you can actually be richer than he was at those points in time. Now it's unlikely you'll ever catch Richard in how rich you are, but you might be able to beat him back at certain points of age that he was in his journey, and growing. So I think that's pretty powerful to think about, that you could actually be richer than Richard was at certain ages in his life, because of how many returns on your investment you might be able to get in these cryptos, because they're just built even better than Bitcoin.
Sure. And our knowledge is deeper. And you're right. Like whatever he was at 25, 30, if we're at that at 25, 30, then theoretically we're going to be on a trajectory that wherever he's at now, we would be higher than that.
Yep.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying.
I think just like how Richard, I believe, is like, I think he's richer than Warren Buffett was at this age. I think Warren Buffett didn't like become a billionaire until he was like, he was like older. Let me see.
I don't even know that one.
How old was Warren Buffett?
Keys a clacking.
He became a millionaire at the age of 30. So Richard's been beating him the whole time. Richard was a multimillionaire at 25. Come on. It's like, okay,
Warren
these old
Buffett?
money guys, they're doing well and stuff, but they're playing that really long, slow game that worked for them. We've got just this better technology option. You know, that's how I see it.
Sure.
And we're just able to outpace.
Well, of course, they're going to downplay crypto because their life is in the legacy market. So they don't want money leaving the legacy market. They want money to stay there because that's how they make more money. They're in stocks and gold and all these other things. They're not. You think Warren Buffett has 100,000 Bitcoin? Probably not.
Yeah.
Especially if he's calling it rat poison. That'd be an ultimate FUD on his own bag. Jeez.
Maybe he's trying to buy it lower, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's like, dang, this entry point's a little too high for me.
Yeah, he's like, crash the markets. Boom. Deploy rat poison squared. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if those bigger guys get into like, what if they care about social media influence or anything like that? Because like obviously attention and data are also huge gold mines nowadays as well.
Sure.
And I don't know if, I mean, I guess I know who they are, so they're doing something right.
Yeah. Hey, maybe it's outrage marketing, right? They're
Sure.
like, rat poison. You're like, oh, what are they guys talking about?
I know, but that eventually comes back to bite them in the butt because everybody who's gotten into crypto, other than like the last year, is basically up massive. And so for the majority of crypto's lifespan, if you've been in the right stuff, you are crushing it. So I don't know where they eventually get the payoff because everyone's going to know, hey, didn't you say rat poison squared? But it's actually awesome. So what was that about? And they're like, oh, that was just to get attention. Like, does that give you a pass? Like Richard at least tells you like, hey, this stuff goes down 85%, but then it pumps harder than everything else. It's like, how can you get more truthful than that?
Sure.
Like that is what happens. And a lot of people just don't know that about crypto. They don't know that it's pumped way, way harder, that those huge dips don't matter that much. Like if you can ride out the volatility, you just you see it, nerds. That's basically that's how the wealth growth happens in crypto. I think I'm losing my voice again. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're right. Because even like if you got into Hex early, even at its 95% dip, you were still up life-changing wealth status. So it's like it's the ebb and the flow. You can't get away from it. It's always going to dip. Even stock markets ebb and flow. Everything ebbs and flows. So yeah, you're right. At least Richard acknowledges that and just says, hey, this thing doesn't go up into the right forever.
Yeah, that like the people who can actually hold through these dips, they get to sell the tips later, you know. And the really smart people are buying at the dips to sell the tips later, you know. So he just really does share what really works in crypto. And what a lot of people will try and sell you in crypto is like, hey, look at these indicators, buy this course, join this paid group. We'll tell you when to buy, when to sell it. And it's like, it's kind of like how whenever people pay, it's even worse because it's like active trading and short time frame, like you can get wrecked that way. But it's even what happens in like traditional finance is like there's these market manager guys who will like people who don't want to mess with the stock market. Like my parents are like this. They just let like a fund manager handle their stock portfolio. But it's been like shown time and time again that these guys, like, they don't really beat the market, but they take 1% of your gains. So if you just like did the S&P 500 and like didn't pay any guy to manage it at all, you would have like outperformed the manager. Plus he also took 1%. So you actually are way down. And people think like these 1% things aren't a lot, but they compound over the years like huge. And so that's why there's all this extra wiggle room for price appreciation in crypto, because there's not these middlemen taking fees every every 3 steps of the way, you're like, oh, I get a fee because you talk to me, and I take a fee of your percent. And you're like, what the heck, dude? Like in crypto, you're just like, oh, I watched a video on how to buy and stake, and then I just stake it, and then I spread the word about it, and then the price goes up over time because crypto.
Yeah.
And like there's no middleman. It's like you kind of have that middleman of like, I pay the ETH gas fee to like stake, and you're like, huh. But it's not a percentage. It's like a very, I mean, unless you're staking like $10, then it's like, oh no, if it's $5 fee, that's 50%. But if you're staking, like if it's your investment or saving portfolio, it's going to be a lot more that you're putting into crypto. And so $5 to get in is very, very much less friction than you have anywhere else for storing wealth.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
like good luck securing gold or something like that for $5. And you don't even get gains. You're down over 40 years.
Right. And then you got to pay taxes on it too.
How do you lose versus inflation as gold? Like, I don't even get that. Even if it is suppressed, like, who cares? It's like you're not going to get gains in it. So at least that's what the chart shows. Unless you have some insider information that you definitely know is going to pay off, then sure, do that. But most people don't have that. And so the obvious choice is go with the best chart and best history of not having problems, right? And that's Hex.
Right. And then people for the gold argument will say, oh, well, when the internet fails and, enter into the apocalyptic situation, gold's going to be valued. It's like, no, cigarettes and water is going to be
And
valued.
bullets.
Yeah, exactly. Gold? What is that going to do for me?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, it was so funny when Peter Schiff debated Richard and immediately comes out the gate with like, it's not a good investment. It's just a hedge. Don't invest in gold. But it's like, that's his whole spiel, is selling people gold. It's like, wait, what? So he thought he'd win the debate by telling people he immediately lost. It was so funny.
Outrage marketing. Oh man, yeah.
Monkey left a good point here. They always say they're open about only investing in things they understand very well. Yeah, but that makes you think, like, then why would they say bad things about something that they haven't researched, right? So it's like, okay, you can't have it both ways.
Could be the, demonize the thing that I don't know type thing. Crypto,
I mean,
man.
it's interesting that is their stance on it. Maybe I have to look into that even more. Like, why be so vehemently against it? Like, they could have been like, oh, we haven't researched it yet, we'll look into it. Or they can be like, we hate it, and that's our stance. But did we do research on it yet? I don't know. Like, because if they did, you'd think they'd invest. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not Warren Buffett. I see it. I see the future in it. I think everybody here already does too. Maybe that's why the wealth will change hands.
I think it's actually, dude, how cool is it that the highest of stakes, did you see the newest thing? It actually got me kind of hyped for the movie even more so now, because they were talking about how it's about Richard Hart possibly becoming the world's first trillionaire.
Oh wow, I have not seen it.
And like, that's kind of what the movie's about. So I kind of like that way that they're going with it, versus just, not just talking about Hex and how great it is, but more so like, if this does get pulled off, he may become the world's richest man. And so it's kind of an interesting premise versus look at this cryptocurrency and participate, but it's more like the story behind how well it's just performing. I think that's a good way to go about it. I'm very excited to see it. How about you?
Oh, dude, it's almost like a reality show at that point. Like, we watch these reality shows because people are living lives that we can't live. So if they see Richard, billionaire now, potential trillionaire, it's like attention grabber. Hello,
Yeah, I mean, whenever, like, the numbers do make sense though, in a way, because you're like, all right, we know stuff has done 10,000x before. Okay, we know things have done 1,000x before. So if someone has $1 billion in crypto and it's in 1,000x's, you are a trillionaire. So that's as simple as it is. It's like, okay, you have $1 billion in a crypto. Crypto has been seen to do 10,000x, 1,000x. If it does 1,000x and you have $1 billion in it, trillionaire. It's that's simple. And it's like, okay, this might actually happen. On paper, trillionaire.
On paper, yeah, that's the big key, because there's not going to be the liquidity to back it up. But
well, it's the exact same thing with Tesla or Jeff Bezos, they're
Sure.
not, they're on paper billionaires. Maybe they actually have enough cash that they're like actual billionaire
Sure.
as well
Sure.
without stocks, like barely, but like most of it's in stock options.
It's equity, right? So even if he has $1 trillion, so it's basically net worth at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you realize that? Maybe it's not a liquid trillion, but is it an equitable trillion? I- What do the
Yeah,
numbers
like
say?
I think that's almost ideal because you don't need to. Why would you ever pull out all your money into like what are we saying is like the best asset to have? Is it dollars? Is it going $1 trillion into dollars the best thing? Probably not. I don't even think that's worth like why would you want that much cash? Unless you're deploying it, it's not really
Exactly.
it's not valuable. Like I think efficient resource what's it called? Allocation is what we want with people who have the most money in the world. You want them to be efficiently using it in the best way possible to build wealth. Like some things in this world require wealth to create. You can't just create a spaceship like with no money.
Right.
You need
Exactly.
you need to be able to pay people to work on the spaceship, to work on, you got to pay engineers to design it and all that. And like that takes tons and tons and tons of money to design the stuff. And so without like a capitalistic society, you get like none of that. Because no one has the resource allocation to do that. And so you can't just have people deciding what the value of things are and how much everybody gets on some like random scale like communism because because that's just not going to work. Like it's not the incentives aren't aligned in that system. The incentive then is like I just need to be buddies with the guy who gets to decide how much people get. That's that system. That's
Yeah.
like how it works. But in capitalism, you actually, if you're more efficient with capital, people willingly will give you their capital, and then you build awesome stuff, and then people they work for that too, because it just makes everyone's life better. That's what wealth building is in the world. So
Yeah, capitalism, versus socialism, communism. Capitalism's almost a little more fair, kind of, because
we haven't even had capitalism in a long time properly, because of the freaking. It's like we have state marginalized capitalism because of the stupid Federal Reserve. Like you can't have this entity that's able to create money with no risk in
horrible
capitalistic
tokenomics,
society. It's broken. So
admin keys, inflation bugs,
yes, it has
horrible
the Federal
tokenomics.
Reserve has an inflation bug, and we can't fix it, and no one is going to. So we have to just pivot to some other crypto, basically. Oh, I see it. But yeah, keep going. What you're saying?
Oh no, that's basically that. Like, obviously it turns into like a socioeconomic issue, but and you can make the argument that capitalism in some ways is not completely fair because different people in the beginning of the capitalism had different advantages. So you could argue that from the beginning of the system, it is unfair. But if you take that element out of it and like all the plebs at the same starting point, we're all running the same race. And it's like you build or
Yeah,
you don't.
the way I see it for like, since we're still like ruled by dollars and everybody has to pay taxes in dollars, at least in the U.S. and stuff, which is like, and they were the reserve currency of the world. Like you basically instead of destroying the game and thinking of a new way to win, we're just playing the game the best possible way. Is by getting into a cryptocurrency that's definably, verifiably scarce. And as people join, they can also just earn more of it trustlessly. It's like that's the safest place, in my opinion, to put capital for just like storing and beating inflation. That's what it's worked so far in the past 1,000 days. It's there's not many projects in crypto that can say they had 1,000 days flawless operation and amazing price performance to go with it. So like just crushing stocks and all that, because obviously there's more middlemen, there's counterparty risk and all that. Like you don't even hold your stocks like to go. They could just say, close this account. What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do? Oh, close his bank account.
Oh,
What are you going to
please,
do?
please give me my stocks, please. Same thing
Yeah.
with Coinbase and stuff, dude. Centralized exchanges are basically that.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like
the new banks.
they are
They're just
absolutely.
holding people's crypto. They shut you down. Oh, I thought I had money here. Nope.
Please give my money, please.
Or like they're like, oh, you got a KYC or something, and you're like, oh, all right. You do that, they don't even let you have your stuff. Like I still have money lost forever from 2017 from KuCoin. I had like an
Oh,
account on there, had some money there. I try to log in like a year later after just not using it for a while. It's like, oh, you got a KYC or something, but like they don't accept like, I don't know if they still are doing it, but they like wouldn't accept US people or something. So I was just like screwed.
No.
So I'm like, oh, good old money gone. Awesome.
Yo. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. I try
That's
not to even like I don't even want to think how much it was or how much it will be now because I'm like, it's gone. So why even bother?
sure. I
I
I
don't
hear
even
you
want to
on
like
that.
name drop them because they screwed me so bad.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you, man. That's it does suck. I've heard story after story like that. It happened to a lot of people on the Binance transfer too, from Binance to Binance US. Like
Yeah.
we were successful in rescuing from my father's account. He had 400 well, of a token locked up in there. And it was a decent, amount for all things considered. And it's like, yeah, we had to jump through hoop after hoop after hoop, but we finally luckily got them to release the shackles and we
Hmm.
got it. But it's like that's not even the common story. The common story is sorry.
Oh man. Yeah. This guy's saying KuCoin doesn't KYC. Well, maybe I'll reach out to him again at some point, but who knows if they did with that. They also got hacked in that time, so who knows if my stuff's still there. So funny.
Mm,
They
mm.
I think was it like 200 million? There was so many hacks during the bull run. There was so many. There's that whole not spreadsheet, but thread by Richard, and it really
Yes.
puts into perspective like, wow, so much stuff fails. And I see why he posts to that all the time because new people coming into crypto, they're like, "Oh, this is a good idea. It sounds like it'll work. I'm going to invest." And then they just get wrecked picking up pennies in front of freight trains because somebody spoke some nice gobbledygook at them and they were like, oh, wow, all in. Oh, this is secure. They said so. All right. Oh, you hold my coins? That sounds good. I don't want to hold them. Yeah.
No, I don't trust
And you're
myself.
like, oh man, like how do I explain like you need to control your stuff? Like what do you think people did 1,000 years ago with their gold? You could I bet you stored some at the house so that it was more secure than with the freaking random I don't even know if they always gave it. Would you give all of your gold to this guy? That seems risky
I
as
wouldn't give any.
crap.
I wouldn't give any of my
Like
gold to that
because
guy.
who knows how long he's going to hold up shop there at his storehouse. And if you just show up one day and you're like, oh, Pete's gone and he'll hold all of our houses, our whole family's wealth, he's gone. Like you would keep your own gold somewhere
Absolutely.
in like where it was safe for you and only your family to find. People used to have to hold your money. Like if you held it, it was yours. And that's kind of what crypto is going back to, is that root of self responsibility and holding your own money. It really brings power back to the people. It really
It
does. It
does.
takes it away from these institutions that are like, hey, we'll hold your stuff for a cost. And you're like, oh, and the cost might be everything if things go too bad. You're like, dude, this is so bad. Like, this is not, you don't just, and then when everything crashes or a war happens and they print like crazy and they ruin everyone's savings, we, we well, they privatize the gains when everything's working. And then they socialize the losses to everybody when everything fails. It's not cool. It resets like everybody who's been working hard, and the people who apparently can pull the strings get to just get all the gains when it's all great, and then they socialize all the losses amongst everybody else.
Mm,
Well, in Hex, that doesn't happen. You know that.
that's an interesting point. Yeah, you're right. They capitalize on the gains, but distribute the burden.
That's right.
I hadn't considered that before. That's an interesting perspective. And
That's a
I
Richard.
appreciate.
That's a Richard quote.
Oh, is it really? Hadn't heard that one. Hadn't heard that one.
That's the best way I've heard it framed, but it's true. They big loans, big loans, big loans, make big gains, mad gains, mad gains, and then it's like, oh, stuff's crashing. Socialize the losses.
Raise the taxes.
Yeah, and or just like print like crazy, which is still like a hidden tax, stealing everyone's value. If all the prices of everything went up in dollars, you can buy less. Doesn't matter how many dollars you have. You're getting
Exactly.
less stuff that you should have been able to have access to.
Exactly. And then it raises the question. It's like some thought experiment I try often is like, how would we implement a burn mechanic to the dollar? You know, like how would we ever introduce that? It's like, do we physically like burn money, or like what do you do? Because
Oh, like if we looked at the Federal Reserve as like a
like a
crypto, and we could,
yes,
like as a community, if everyone got together and was like, "Hey, we actually think you're doing a terrible job. We should vote on it and
yeah,
decide." But they're a private company, so they don't give a
they
crap.
don't
They don't care what we have to say. It's that's the problem. It's not like we
exactly.
get to vote on it.
We
But
don't.
if we could, that would be interesting. Like, what would they do? It's
I,
yeah.
are you a? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I don't know what I was gonna say.
Did
Oh
you
yeah, I
ever
was
get?
gonna.
Oh,
Go ahead.
did you ever get into old school RuneScape by any chance?
What's what's funny is, I mean, I played when it wasn't old school, or do you mean like whenever it was just coming out?
Either way. Just are you
Yeah, I played
familiar
when
with
like
the
it
game?
was just coming out, and me and my brother would play. I basically would just like kill goblins and get like swords and like sell it or whatever. I never got really far into it. But my brother was like, he would make those pure builds and go
Mm.
out into the wilds and
Oh
like
yeah.
kill people with like one hit, because he looks like normal, like he's like low level, but he put all points into like one stat so you can like do a combo that
Yep.
kills you. So he get like all their best gear, but he looks really low level. Anyway,
r- Right. No.
so we've always been like min maxing gamer guys growing up. So I follow his lead in that.
Well, the reason I asked that is because like something that actually taught me a lot about like tokenomics and stuff, and even like the US dollar,
The
believe it or
auction
not.
house?
Well, the auction house, but also the way gold works in RuneScape, because like it's infinitely minting because you get it
True.
from like drops from creatures or whatever.
Right.
So over time you've seen the devaluing of RuneScape gold. And so
Mm.
then so in order to counteract that on the Grand Exchange or the auction house, they implemented a buy and sell tax onto
Hmm.
their gold system. So like 10%, or I don't even know what the number is, but of the transactions actually get burned and the gold gets removed from the system. So we're like starting to see
Hmm.
different games and stuff implement crypto style tokenomics. And I think we're permeating into the world.
Oh wait,
Like
you're saying that's new? Like they recently did that? Just
they had to, because gold was becoming so devalued. Because
that's so funny.
like so much of it like I remember back in the day, if we would play like 1,000,000 gold, you were like, "What up, flexing?" Now
Mhm.
you could buy 1,000,000 gold for $1 from
Oh yeah, it's
somebody.
super cheap. It happens in
It
WoW as well, like in World of Warcraft, because there's an auction house there, and that was always the best way to make money, in my opinion, because you didn't have to go out and farm anything. You
yeah,
just look at things, or you know what schedule things are going to come out, or what people are going to need, and so you know there's going to be demand later. So you just stock up now whenever everybody's like, there's a huge influx of supply of something, so you can just buy a bunch of it,
exactly.
and then you hold it and you trickle it out. You just own the market. So it's like cornering the market.
It
It's
is.
basically like the diamond sellers thing, like De Beers. You just do that in the game, but eventually, the thing I bring it up is because over time, you're right. The value of gold just goes down, 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 because people have been around in the game for so long that everyone just has tons and tons of money from like doing anything,
Exactly.
and so the prices of everything just seems to go up crazily over time.
Exactly. And
Gold just loses its value. So yeah, it's very interesting. I think it's really cool that we can create our own money, because like in those games, it's a sandbox where you can't like choose, like the market can't choose something else to be more valuable than gold and restabilize on something else. Like you
nope.
can't really do that because that's not how the game is set up. But
Nope.
we're all playing real life, and
Exactly.
so we can
Exactly.
change what's more fair. We can decide that. So if we don't like the dollar and then making way too many dollars and devaluing it, and us being forced to hold it, and devaluing our money, we can choose to build something else that's more fair for everybody.
Exactly. That's what, dude, you're exactly like crypto. It's financial freedom in more senses than just getting rich. It's financial freedom, and you have the ability to interact with money in any way you see fit. And if it doesn't exist, you can create it. So it's financial freedom in like an expressive way.
Yeah.
What is my philosophy of money interaction? It exists. Like crypto opens up these doors that like traditional finance doesn't.
Yeah, it's really incredible. Crypto stylist saw her at the fashion show. Of course she shows up to the fashion show. She's a fashionista herself. Really cool girl. She was looking on fire that night, I must say. Did I see her 2 nights? I can't remember. Maybe just one at the. I definitely at the fashion show. That was cool. Did you get to meet Crypto Stylist?
Yeah, I met Crypto Stylist. Good to meet you. I see Brissology in the chat. Good to meet you. I see my beautiful wife in the chat as well. AG, love you.
That's awesome. Let's see. Oh, AG is her.
Yep.
In RuneScape Pro Old School Game Theory.
Let's go.
Oh my
god. She knows. She hears about it a lot.
My hair's a wreck. I'm putting my hat on.
Do it. My hair's worse, I promise. Minecraft.
Plus, we gotta show it off anyway.
No, my son's wearing that hat right now. He copped one of those, dude. That's a nice hat.
It's so good. Look. I love the brim. That is way too good,
bro. That's fire.
It's none of that normal black. You know, it's like the colors. It's super cool.
That's incredible.
I want to give the proper shout out to whoever made this. Was it Hex Merge? They're getting free advertising, I guess.
That'd be my guess.
I'm pretty sure they sponsored the event, so they should get some credit, even if this isn't their hat. So let's see. I'm going to read some of the comments here. Oh yeah, we met at Freddie Quotes' party as well. Yeah, that's what it was. Each race in World of Warcraft should have their own currency. That would be a neat mechanic, dude. Oh man,
that's actually very interesting.
I mean, I guess.
Then you'll have to have the conversion rates.
Just play the real life game.
Yeah,
same games in real life, because it's already predetermined almost. If you just release a game with these options and you're like, well, we'll see how it turns out, and then I guess because there's still there's still people who sell gold in those games, and so there's always going to be people farming up the currency, doing whatever they can. Because you're right, as long as they're doing anything in the game, they can make as much as they want, and they can do it at scale, and then they just sell it at a certain price. So
it has an inflation mechanic that's actually bad for the economy too.
Yeah, it's actually weird. Yeah, I don't think real life has that, because if I go in and beat up a turkey, I don't get gold out of looting it, right? I'd have to do a bunch of work and way more to turn it into some real world value. It wouldn't generate money itself. I could only get it from the existing supply.
Exactly. You have one entity in our system that can mint, whereas
not with crypto now. Anybody can mint, which is awesome. Right. But you're right. For a long time, dollars was the only option, which is so scary, because I'm trying to think of what what would be the play if crypto didn't exist right now. And it's I guess real estate and leveraging that, so you're shorting the dollar because it's going to zero. So you could just play that game, which is what a lot of people who are successful in real estate have done. They're crushing it, but crypto crushes it even harder. They just need to learn about it and hear about it. A lot of people just haven't heard about these options. So that's why I make these videos, so people hear about it. They're not going to hear about it if I'm just thinking about it in my head, how great it is. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. I'm like, that's not helping anybody. So I started making videos.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think
Turkey coin coming out.
K for cake, turkey coin. You heard it first.
Yeah. There actually was a video I made where I talked about a K for K coin, but it was just as in an example. I wasn't making one, because I was showing how they're definitely going to make a whitelist for what pools get bought out by the AMM bot. They're going to decide ahead of time, is my opinion. Because I did an example of if I had a bunch of Ethereum and I wanted to make a coin just for me that only I would be able to extract basically free Pulse out of. I think if you had it takes a lot of Ethereum to get the free stuff, but if you had 10,000 ETH, you could technically give yourself 1 billion Pulse for free.
Interesting.
If they just auto did all the pools by the AMM bot, buying it up and filling it with Pulse, you could make these pools with ETH, and then it would actually fill up with tons of Pulse, and then you could extract it. So that's why I think they're only going to pick specific pools in a whitelist. Yeah.
That actually makes total sense. And Richard actually has said on one or multiple occasions that there may be some tokens that don't get considered in the fork. So that does make sense, because then you could just play it and get a bunch of free. Well, I guess yeah, because if you're the only one with the coins and you create the LP,
That's
you
what I'm
basically get
saying.
free. Yeah, you're right. You get free. Yeah, you're right. It can't happen that way. No way.
That's why I said so. Like,
Yeah, good
and some of
point.
the stuff like Richard never talks about, but I put it on my YouTube, and it's like nobody says that's not the case. So I think it is. It just Richard doesn't draw attention to like because it's also stuff that I don't even. Well, I don't want to say, but there's definitely some things that are being worked on to make it even better, and there's really no reason to, I guess, bring everything to light. I just trying to dispel that type of FUD where people are like, "Oh, people are going to do this." And I'm like, "Well, if that were the case, it just means we're going to have a whitelist, and they just only do it for pools that are legit, not the potential fake ones." Because that would be a risk if they came out and said, "Yo, every pool that exists, it doesn't matter, we're not going to vet it." Then I'd be like, "Well, this is a problem then."
Sure.
But so that's why I just put that stuff out there to dispel FUD early.
No, that's dude, great perspective. That's something you should talk about more because it's like, yeah, because that if somebody thinks about that and they think it's going to work, they could absolutely play the system. Just yeah,
Yeah, I
too
mean,
much.
it's basically just giving yourself a free airdrop with no risk because you own all of the coins and the
Exactly.
ETH already, and
Exactly.
you would just even if you didn't have the money, I'm not sure if you'd be able to. You probably wouldn't be able to do a flash loan because that's only in like one block, and you'd have to know like when it's going to launch or something. But you could just contact a whale in the system and be like, "Yo," and you could talk to them, and then they can put up the stuff, and you just cut in a deal with them because
Yep.
brought them the idea. So you don't actually even need the money yourself. You just contact people who have the ETH, and you can just get free stuff. But it doesn't matter. I don't think so because they're going to whitelist, is my opinion.
So, what do you think the criteria for the whitelist is going to be? Like, how are they going to do that? Like by
Hmm.
date?
I
By
mean, definitely I mean, there's just obvious ones that are going to make it normally, I think, like SHIB
of course.
and Link,
Yep.
and then just kind of like the major DeFi ones like Curve and those pools, like stablecoin pools that are like whatever, those will come over and be filled, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, I don't think like if it's just like some random coin with almost no liquidity, or even if it has high liquidity, they're gonna have to look into that because we don't want to be giving around like billions of pulse for free to people.
Sure. Well, and at this point too, since the sacrifice phase is over, the supply is already determined. So, well, I guess the supply. Well, that's a question. I guess yeah, because if the supply is already determined, there's only a finite amount of pulse that the AMM bot can use to harvest those pools, right?
It's using, well, Richard says still that it's like like 2 to 2.5% of the total supply
Mm.
will be used to mint and then purchase up and then also pair with Impulse X. So is that a set amount? I think we got that number based on how much like WETH there was in the system, like in Ethereum, like how much Ethereum, what percent of it is in liquidity pools or
Mm.
DeFi. And you can
Gotcha.
kind of get that because Ethereum itself can't be used in DeFi. You can only use wrapped Ethereum.
Hmm.
And so going by that number, and then we use the square root of that number to get kind of how much we'd have to use to buy it up and put it into the pools. Because I think there was around 6% or something throughout all of DeFi. At least the last time I checked, these were months ago figures. So who knows how much has changed since then? But that's how they came up with 2.5%. Because there's like a few, there's at least like a million or so in Aave, and then there's about 1% in all the dexes of Ethereum. You can check this out on like DeFiPulse.com unless they change their UI again. They do change it from time to time. But if you go to DeFi Pulse, you can check like, oh, dexes. All right, here's Balancer, Bancor, Uniswap, SushiSwap, Curve. All right, how much Ethereum is in each of these out of total supply? And like I did all the math in the one video a while back, and it was like they barely got around 1% in dexes. So I was like wondering where Richard got this 2.5% thing, and I guess it's because they're including Aave and Compound because those hold lots of WETH. Like you can actually check the WETH contract on Etherscan and see what percent of, like, you can see how much there is and then see how much that is of a percent of total supply. And that's how much is in
Interesting.
DeFi, you could say. And so I
Never.
think that's where they got the number. So I think it'll actually mint less. But apparently, I just saw this the other day. Some entity, some address on testnet was able to empty all of Aave and Uniswap v3 of the tokens, basically. And so if they're able to do that, then they can get access to that amount, and then like of all those PRC20s and stuff, and the Pulse. And so they'll have to pair up with all that extra amount of tokens they got at the DEX prices. It gets so confusing, dude. There's so much that goes into it. So it's really cool. I'm glad they have the best devs working on it, because they're running simulations in parallel, like lots and lots of stuff happening.
They have
And
to be.
so they're really battle testing this stuff, because if they really care about launching something that has 100% flawless operation again, and it's going to be a layer one, then I'm not surprised they're running into these old bugs that maybe BNB, Binance Smart Chain, hasn't found and hasn't fixed, because they just don't care as much, but Richard does. And so I'm glad that they're fixing that stuff. That's a good sign, not a bad sign, you know? Like I heard this before when it was like, if they were bad devs, they would have released it already.
Good point.
And that's how I see it. There's just like a lot of the devil is in the details of like, oh, if we launch it and we don't think of this, that could be bad. So there's like little things like this, that the conversations you got to have, where the closer you get to the deadline, the more you're like, well, what about this? Ooh, let's think about that. Let's make sure we accounted for that. So some people are like, they think it's so easy to just do the world's largest airdrop ever. And they're like, oh, you just copy the code and launch it. What's wrong with that? It's like, no, if it was that easy, everyone else would have already done it already. There's a reason we're the only one doing that. Like, I've even heard, I'd have to confirm this myself, but some people are saying like that proof of work chain one for Ethereum isn't going to have any coins on it. Like, that's what I've been hearing, but maybe that's not the case.
See, I actually, I've been kind of deep diving into that as well. And it seems like the going consensus is they are going to do a full system state copy. So it's like they're running with the same narrative almost, as they're not calling it the world's largest airdrop, but they're aiming to do the pulse chain thing.
Aiming? I mean, they have less time than we do.
Right. Aiming. That's what I'm saying.
Right? So it's like, that doesn't seem good. Plus, they're still have mining ecosystem, which means they're going to constantly be dumping the main token, which is garbage. They have mining, so they have mining costs. Hello, negative externality. We know, that just sucks. And proof of stake is just better for price appreciation, better for the environment, less dumpage. So I just don't think it's definitely not. You could say it's a competitor, but I don't think it really stands a chance versus the price performance potential of Pulse Chain, and the speed it has as well, and the cost reductions. Like, we still have all the main pillars of why it's going to be awesome still working for us. I think people just get a little scared thinking like, oh, it's going to take our win away. I don't think so. Like, they're not reducing their block times. They still have insane inflation that they have to sell to pay for their miners. Like, I think we're still on track. Very excited still.
Yeah, and show me the ETH POW community. Like, where are they?
I didn't see the ETH POW Vegas meetup. Did you?
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't. I did not.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, I want to show. I don't mean to kick you off, but I still want to show some cool pictures from the thing. But it was awesome talking to you. You want to show your stuff where people can find you?
Sure, I appreciate that. Yeah, if you want to learn more about the wallet we're building, internetmoney.io. We just released like a revamped version of the site. It's still more cool stuff coming on it. We should be in private beta. What's this month? October 15th ish. I would love to have you in the private beta, and
yeah,
we'll have public beta November 1st ish, where anybody can go and download. So internetmoney.io, that links to all of our socials from there.
Awesome. And we'll have to have another conversation, I guess maybe towards or during the private beta, so I can like check out some stuff and see if it's as awesome as you make it sound. So
Sure.
yeah. So yeah, check out his stuff. Yeah. We'll have to have like another long conversation about just your the stuff you've been working on, because this is like just talking about Vegas and stuff. So I don't want to get too off topic, you know.
Not offended. Not offended. I appreciate you pulling me on, bro. Seriously,
Yeah.
I'm not offended at all.
Yeah, and if anybody else wants to come on for like a little bit from the Vegas meetup, hit me up in the DM, and we'll see if we can get you on. I'm just curious on people's perspective of the whole event in itself, you know, because I think it was a very beneficial for everybody who went. I haven't heard anybody who said, "Oh man, that wasn't worth it." like in
Me
my
either.
opinion, like everybody I've talked to has been like, "Wow, that was probably one of the best times ever." Yeah, like what do you think? You know, so very awesome.
I'm significantly more bullish on the community after that meetup.
Yeah.
Nothing but positive from me.
I feel the same way. All right, well, we'll catch you later, man.
Later,
Check
bro.
them out, everybody. Peace. All right, who wants to see some more pictures? Also, everyone give KG a round of applause. Some clappers in the chat. Hex Pulsecons? Yes. Pulsexicons. There we go, Brazology. Let me see if anybody has messaged me. All right, doesn't look like. All right, let's show some more cool pictures, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions about anything. I'm open to answering questions or feedback or anything, but I just wanted to go over some of these cool pictures in case you guys haven't had a chance to see them. Clappers. What's wrong with clappers? You know, when the hands go together, some clappers. She's always trying to bring me down. All right. So good seeing everybody. All right, let's see what we got here. We got Jory, we got Carrera, we got the Sammy Chica. I'm not sure, although in the bottom right, I think she actually hurt her foot, if that's the right person I'm thinking of. I think it had to do with a pole and skates. So, ooh, what's this? I don't think I got to. What is that? A go kart or something? I can see that. There's the Lindsay Hexagon and CZ. There he is, the Cosmic Cowboy himself. I never got to sit in these egg chairs. They look legit. Bit of bending. Love your hat. Yeah, dude, the hat is it's so good. It fits really well. I actually have it kind of wide in the back. I could probably make it tighter if I wanted. Really enjoy it. DNA, what's this? What about it? 50 bill sack from Pulse into PulseX on the last day of sack. Not fudge. Genuine query of what that was. Why the silence? Oh, there's not really silence on it. It's if you look at the Pulse chain sacrifice as well, there was a large sacrifice on the last non-volume days of the sacrifice as well. And what it comes down to is basically that's the OA getting around 90% of the supply, similar to how Hex got. There's the OA who owns around, they say 50 to 90% of the supply. And that's been amazing for price. Like when you have someone who has a large amount of something, they're more likely to want to see that do well. Like whenever you start a company, like in like say Tesla or Jeff Bezos with Amazon, you know, they owned 100% at one point. And then over time, they get diluted, they reduce their size, but they have the most in it to see it do well. And so I think it aligns incentives, and it also discourages any other whales in the system who are going to have such a lower amount of the total supply that they're not really likely to get away with any sort of, you know, crypto games or manipulation because there's always that larger entity who has more funds than them to be able to buy up their position if they're trying to suppress the price too much or do something terrible like hurt their own. If they hurt their own bags too much, eventually they're just sold out and they're gone. But I like how this has worked out for the Hex ecosystem by having a large supply owned by an entity that is benevolent, and it's been working out for Hex. So I think that's the same idea with Pulse Chain and PulseX. There's around 90% owned by. It's not the same. We don't know if it's the same OA person or whatever, but yeah, they own a large percentage. I think it makes the incentives aligned in a good way. A lot of people think, oh no, it's not decentralized. It's not like they own. Like if you own a lot of Ethereum, like Vitalik, he wants to see Ethereum succeed. I think if someone owns a large portion of Hex, they want to see Hex succeed because they stand to gain. It's a problem with Bitcoin. Well, people say it's the most decentralized. Well, is that good for price? Because they still have 85% drops every 4 years, just like everything else. But they get less gains every few years as well. So they're getting less gains, but they still drop just as much. Oh, and they're the most decentralized as well for ownership. Because I think 42% of all Bitcoin is 42% of all Bitcoin is held by 2,000 addresses. And so if that's the most decentralized we can get, it's like, well, apparently that's not good for price performance. So why do we care so much? It's actually a downside, in my opinion, to not have an entity who has a large enough stake who can make money onboarding more people. So that's the problem with Bitcoin is nobody can make money onboarding people to Bitcoin because you getting another guy to put in even $1 million into Bitcoin does nothing for the price. And so you spend all this time, you spend $100 getting that guy onboarded, you're never going to see that $100 return. Whereas maybe an entity who has 90% of a supply could actually make profit profit positive onboarding new users because they own a large enough percent. That's how I look at it. What's up, KFK Crypto? Good to see everybody. Thanks for showing up, guys. Got some more photos to show. Let's see. I hope nothing weird pops up on the screen. I can't guarantee it. So if something weird pops up, might have to stop the stream. I'm just flipping through. I hope that's legal. Flipping through some of these pictures of the Vegas event. Yeah, good to catch you live. The Duchess. Oh no, guys. Oh yeah, I released this video on Twitter just the other night. Like I was just looking through Twitter and I noticed that there's like lots of these scams popping up where people are being suggested to either do something with their Ledger wallet or hardware wallet before the ETH merge, or they won't like have access to their stuff. So if anyone DMs you personally or replies to you in a comment or something like that, and they're trying to get you to click a link, or they're trying to pretend there's someone who you respect or have familiarization with, it's probably a scam. Like I will purposefully never DM anybody. I'm just going to say that now. Like, I'm not going to DM you. So if you get a DM that says it's for me and I'm asking you about your crypto portfolio or something, they get really in depth, like trying to scam people. Like, I saw this one guy posted a video of someone pretending to be me with one letter difference on, I don't know if it was Instagram or Twitter, but probably both. And they're like, hey, what's up? And it's like, oh, hey, what's up, K4K? Hey, how's this crypto winter treating you? Oh, K4K is asking questions. That's what they're doing this. And like they'll act like they're a person and everything. And eventually it's all just to lead up to, hey, come click this link and get wrecked, basically. And they'll try and ask you for seed words, or they'll get you to sign something with your wallet. So do not fall for any of that. Watch out for imposters. Don't get wrecked, please. So I released the video warning people about that, especially leading into the merge, and people are worried about it. They hear, oh, the merge is coming up. That's legit. I'm being contacted by someone I know from YouTube, and they're telling me about this thing that I also know about. It's like a lot of correlation, and so it is convincing. But I'm telling you right now, if you're watching this, I will not DM you about anything. So watch out. about scammers trying to scam you out of your money, guys. I don't want people losing, like, especially your sacrifice address and stuff like that. Do not be signing anything weird or even getting an airdrop with it. It's very risky, especially whenever we're thinking about how big of an impact and how much, how many returns you may see on that initial investment, into that sacrifice address. If you get it compromised before launch, you might not get those coins at all. They might be swiped away if you interact with the wrong contract or give away your seed words too early, or ever. So you should never really be typing your seed words ever into anything that resembles a keyboard or your phone or anything like that, or taking pictures. Never do that. Very important. Yeah, so watch out. I just thought I'd share that. Be safe, people. It's scary out there. It is. Look at that. A-bit Hex Lion. I think I got to see these at the golf tournament. So the golf tournament was actually pretty cool. I didn't participate in the golf itself, but we did do part of a music video for Freddie Quotes. I believe it was Freddie Quotes. They had like 5 or 6 camera guys out there on the golf course, and we all kind of we did like Mario Kart on the golf course. I was like drifting. I was like drifting in like the grass, going down hills, up hills on the one hole. There was like 12 or 15 of us. And Marco the Hexagon is holding up a sign that has like Pulsex, Pulse Chain, Hex logo, and he's standing like on the side of the go-kart or golf cart. And the wind is like catching it and it's like fluttering as I'm drifting on the golf course as they're recording it. Like, we got a really close shot. So I'm really excited to see the footage they come out with that, because we're just driving around having a crazy time. I wasn't expecting that. I was very hungry that day. Like, there was like, I kept getting delayed on when I could get food. It was like, oh, the buffet is supposed to be starting at this time. And it's like 10 minutes before that's supposed to start. They're like, hey, everybody, we got to go out. We got to go out to the golf course on the golf carts. I'm like, all right, hopefully we get back in time. By the time I get back, it's like, oh, the food is not available anymore. It all got eaten. So it's like, oh my God. Anyway, it was I just wanted to have enough nutrition so that I could be an active participant talking to people without being like out of energy. It was so funny. Like, Jim Rat had a similar experience, but with water. He was not able to get water at like one of the events. He was like tweeting about it. It's going crazy. He's like, I need water. Nobody can get me water. I don't know where water is. I'm dying. He was like dying on Twitter. It was, I felt that for him, but for food. It was pretty funny. All right. Been watching you since under 1K subs. Thanks for your content, brother. Yo, thanks, BA. I appreciate that a lot. That means you must like my content leading up until now. That's awesome. 16x in subscribers. Let's see what else we got. So this was like the table on the side where the raffle prize winner stuff was there. I should have done the raffle. There was like, you basically guaranteed to win all types of stuff. There was like clubs, there was Pulsex merch, there was like silver coins. Hey, speaking of silver coins, people who stayed this long, check out this cool silver coin I got. Come on. Oh, it's up there. Hex.com. Like, how cool is that? There's even a Pulse logo on the back. So apparently it's real silver, so that's super awesome. Big fan. There was like these bands we got, say, Pulse Masters, because this was the first crypto sponsored. I'm trying to cover my eyes. Pulse Masters Golf Tournament. Anyway, that just meant that you could get food or whatever. But it was super cool. I got to actually race a Ferrari on the track. There was, I don't know if he wants to be named, but he wanted to take me out to the track just to have fun and collect some content to help grow the channel, because the ultimate goal here, everybody, is to get more people to know about crypto and the opportunity. Like, that's how we're going to help everybody out of this old fiat system that sucks. Prices going up all the time. Wouldn't you rather be in a money where you can buy more and more stuff over time, the longer you hold it, versus you can buy less and less over time? you have less control over it, and you have more counterparty risk. So, like, I think people just need to find out about the Hex ecosystem and the stuff that Richard Hart's building. I think that's going to be just better for the world. So that's why we're making these videos. And any way to get it out there, whether it's racing a car, wearing silly stuff, wearing cool merch, or going to events, getting these connections with people, that's how we're going to grow the channels. And yeah. So if you want to see, I actually have links in my let's see. There's actually, if you go to the Discord, I think it's pinned at the top of the YouTube. But you can join the Discord channel. There's over like 500 members who have joined so far. There's also a game theory Telegram chat, t.me/pulse theory. I guess I'll link it in here just for people who are interested in joining. t.me/theory. That one is a really cool place to talk game theory, more high level stuff. It's not really come in there and ask for wallet support or anything like that. This is more for higher level talking. Like I have some ideas for videos on stuff that I would love to work with people on, designing like a spreadsheet for showcasing some stuff. So if you're interested in making spreadsheets or doing math stuff, that's probably for you. And then the Discord is just for hanging out. I think eventually we're going to start doing like private calls just for people in the Discord. If you want to join in, we can have talks, answer any questions, and it's all free. So you just come in and join, ask your questions. We got general chat. You can talk about whatever you want in general chat. I'm probably gonna have different. Someone already suggested. I was gonna say you can also suggest things and ideas. Probably gonna have separate channels in the Discord for all the Hex derivatives, so people can learn. And I'll end up posting videos in each one, explaining each one, so it's all just easy to understand, all in one Discord. I think that's the good thing about Discord is it's easy to have separate channels for things, whereas in Telegram it's kind of like pinned or bust. So there is pros and cons to these things. So I like to give people the option. A lot of people, some only use Discord, some only use Telegram, some only use Reddit. Reddit.com/r/K4K crypto is actually a video in there that I haven't posted anywhere else. It's literally the link is there. That's it. And that has my super awesome ideas about how or the opportunity we have with Pulse Chain compared to getting into ETH assets and ERC20 tokens. If you get into Pulse assets and Pulse, you're at a huge advantage if you watch that video. So if you want to check that out, check out the Reddit. And then all the links to all the socials are in the Discord as well. Hey, good to see you, man. What's up? Satan $Angel. Pretty cool, pretty cool. This is the back room. During the fashion show, we actually got to sit down and have a conversation. So that's we got Freddie Quotes. We got, oh my gosh, I don't know. Corey and Investor, and Black Crypto showing up. Super cool. I think this was on stage. Yeah, Jim Rat was there. Really cool guy. Awesome. He was in the chat earlier as well. Oh, people, let me answer that. All right, so he just got here. People already asked for limit order video on Pulsex. So yeah, is it on testnet yet? Because once it's on testnet, then I can make a video on it. If you can confirm it's on testnet, then that might be the next video I make before some of these other ideas I have. But yeah, Funding Jim, awesome guy. Oh yeah, we got Funding Jim, we got Freddie Quotes, Abit, we got Dip Catcher. Did I say Freddie Quotes? And we got Gold Key. They raffled and stayed the end events too early. We're still playing and came in and everything was done. Oh, dang. We were still playing, came in, and everything was done. Oh, we're on like the second team that went out. We come in second place by only 2 strokes. Nice. I mean, at least he got second. I'm pretty sure second place got like a pretty good prize. Like it was only slightly reduced from the first place prize, if I recall. Like, wasn't it like 4 million Pulsex and 4 million Pulse plus some other stuff for first place, and then 3 million and 3 million of those same things for second? That's what I heard anyway. Some people posting, can't personally confirm. Cheers, bro. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, limit ordering will be a good way to scoop up potential. Like if you guys saw, I'm not going to pull up the chart now, but for Ethereum during its launch, you know, from 30 cents where most people got in, it did wick down to 15 cents, but then it went up and then it was like never seen again. So people who got, if you got it at 15 cents instead of 30, you have 2x the coins. So you basically get to have 2x the gains forever. And so it multiplies your potential wealth forever. So it's actually really beneficial to learn how to set limit orders, because you might be able to get an insanely good deal at launch whenever things are really, really hectic. And so I think that video would be pretty beneficial to people. If it's on testnet, I can show people how to do that. So I'll have to look into that after this. I'm still recovering from the Vegas events. My voice is healing. It sounds pretty normal right now, but yeah. I was happy that no coiners won the afternoon instead of us. More onboarding. Oh, really? Hey, that's legit. Nice. Some no coiners won. Super cool. Good to see everyone had a great time. Thanks for sharing the photos. Yeah, no problem. Can't find the hat. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, dude, this hat is legit. I'm so cool. I'm so glad. Not so cool. I'm so glad that they had such cool hats at the event, because I've never seen it before. So it's not just a generic Hex hat or anything. It's like all of them in one. It's like the Thanos gauntlet, but hat form. All right, this was outside the back of the fashion show. It's fashion show. Wow, they got a lot of angles there. Oh, there's Rolo. We got a picture with him at the event. It's pretty cool. Mark of the Hexkins, super legit. This was Freddie's penthouse party. He throws awesome parties every time we're at these events. So shout out to him. Super cool guy. Yeah. Let's see. All right, how much time we got left? Here, I'm gonna like speed run through a lot. Oh yeah, Jack Levin was there. Super cool. I actually somehow missed him at the penthouse party, but that's out on the balcony. Oh, he's wearing one of those awesome Suzanne shirts. So I got to talk with RG3 and A-Bit and Jory. There's Hex Bula. Wow. There's a fat one. That's a big. Is that might be weed? I guess so. But yeah, good. There's Toby, Sammy Chica, and Blue Bum. Super cool guys. Oh, the poor pleb shirt. Nice. People posting personally can confirm. All right, word. What's he say? Crap. So I can't buy that online. I mean, maybe they'll release it. I would contact maybe Hex Merch. I mean, I think that's who made them. So yeah. What?
So here we are at Fremont Street. It's like some ungodly hour of the morning. And I'm here with my friend Steve.
I don't want to watch too much of that. We might get in trouble. But yeah, lots of cool stuff. I actually didn't even get to see this. I think this was at Pulsecon, and I wasn't there for that. There's DJ Pollywood and freaking Hexray Vision. So super awesome. I wish I got to see them at that event. Yeah, I think she hurt her foot on those skates. Blue Bum is living the life, dude. What a cool guy. Oh, Rochella Private Equity did the hat. Do they have a website? Monica? Can't find it either, but that's the one I want. Super cool. What is happening? Is she falling? Hey, there's Dollar Cost. What's up? Is that Blue Bum on the pole? Here, I'm gonna try and speed run through all this. See if we can get some cool stuff. There's Rags, Korean investor. Maddie, got to talk with him. Got RG3. Apparently, there was this cutout out on the field for Richards. Everyone was like doing crazy poses with it and whatnot. So funny. But yeah, the Hex community, when we show up, we show up. We do cool stuff. You know, if you're ever on the fence about going, like if you're already feeling good about your crypto stuff, then I would show up to the events. But like it's the amount of return you may see on like a couple $1,000s or whatever you spend going to these events, you personally would probably be better off putting it into crypto. But if you're, I don't know, Richard always says that you'll regret going to like these old events. Like I think he said he spent like, was it 600 or 300 Bitcoin to go to some crypto conference like way early on. And you think about that money now and you're like, ooh, millions and millions and millions of dollars. But hey, you got to live your life at some point as well. But like delayed gratification is where it's at. We're already in the best performing asset class in history, and we're in one of the best performing assets in that asset class. So if you do have some expendable cash, I think it's worthwhile coming to these events. It's very fun and invigorating to be a part of these awesome social events with the people, because like the people are all that matter, and the product is the product, but like the people are what matter and give it the value it has. And so I think when we all work together and we have these events, it really improves the quality of everyone inside the community. That's how I see it. DM me where? On Twitter. Let's see. I haven't gotten any more DM me. I'll ask. Oh, you're asking her something. Gotcha. All right, we're gonna speed through here. Oh yeah, they got like $1,000 worth of alcohol or something for the Freddy party, which also led into the Nagaboo party.
On it though.
I feel like a DJ because I'm just like playing old videos of songs. But yeah, this was the fashion show. Was this the second day? Might have been. It was the second day. Don't worry, the audio quality is way better at the place. The recordings are kind of messed up, but yeah. It was really good. Welcome, Pulsecon attendees. This was the Freddy. Oh, someone got a rabbit. There was lots of people getting questioned and interviewed during basically every one of the events. There was somebody with a mic and a camera set up somewhere usually, and people were just recording footage, getting personal footage. So like everybody was like, we're all building our own channels while we're out there and helping each other out, and just trying to provide value on everybody's platform so we can get more people into this awesome crypto experience. I think it's very valuable for the community to hold these events. Like we can always say now we are the first crypto sponsored golf tournament. Like we held that, the Pulse Masters. We're just knocking out firsts out of the park. Awesome. Yeah, hit the likes, guys. Hit the like, hit subscribe if you like if you like seeing this type of stuff. I'm probably gonna cut it in like 10 minutes. I just want to go over some more video stuff. And then I want to work on some more like specific, helpful, value providing videos for you guys. This one's just kind of a fun back from Vegas live stream. So nice view. Super fun time. And they really didn't play the music. Well, it was pretty loud, I was gonna say, but like I'm not a huge fan of insanely loud music. So it's nice to be able to get away at certain points to actually have a good conversation with somebody, usually in the back room or towards the entrance, or there was another area people could go outside. There was like a food truck, but dude, it was so hot in Vegas, like 107, 110. Imagine not sweating. I can't. Oh, that looks super cool. Yeah, I missed out all these. There was one cutout thing that was pretty cool that I got to hang out by, which was at the fashion show. So there's KG. He was just on stream. He's hanging out with Jack Levin. It's like, if you want to meet these people in person, like, we show up to these events. So if you got ideas, or you want to hang out or say hi, we show up and we say hello, we talk, we all learn together. It's really fun. Onboarding so many. When Pulse Moon's Mini will be there also next time. Yes, dude. I mean, wait till we have like these 3 awesome coins out, and we have another bull run. Things are up 10x, 100x, 1000x by next not by next, I don't know if that'll be by next like HexCon or something. But in a year or two, like, think about how big the community is going to grow, because we have like 106 or 107,000 stakers in Hex right now. And those numbers just keep going up. I think we're like onboarding more people per day than ever before. Other than like the very, very first days where everybody like knew about it and was trying to get into Hex, and that's like your first influx. But then gradually we just keep getting more and more people. I think it's like 600 a day, something like that. I gotta check the stats again, but it's really cool stuff. Really impressive. Or maybe it's 180 a day. That sounds more reasonable. Which hotel? I stayed at the Sahara. It was really nice, actually. I was very impressed. We started off in the Circus, and then we were like, wait, this is terrible. I had never stayed there before, and I did not want to stay there any longer. So we ended up going to the Sahara, which was like the same price. It was like relatively cheap, and it actually had a fridge in it and stuff. So that was really handy for storing some extra food. And the bed was super comfy, had a nice, very good window view, had these 2 huge mirrors on either side that you could light up and check out your outfit or whatever. And it was just like a really nice bathroom, good shower. I give it a 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. Good for its price, for sure. Yeah, Circus was like, dude, our room was no smoking, and it was like, as the vents went on through the first night, because we stayed there one night, it was like I'm inhaling secondhand smoke all night long, dude. It was so not good. It was not okay. So yeah, we ended up swapping places. But they were cool about it. I'll give them credit. They ended up like giving us they said since I hadn't paid in full or whatever, it was like per day, that they just give you your money back for the days you don't stay. So I really didn't lose any money. Even the one day we stayed later than their checkout time. But since like the experience wasn't so good, they were like, hey, we'll just give you like that money back anyway. So I'll give them credit for that. We might have just had an extra bad room, but yeah, I did enjoy being able to relax at the Sahara. It was much nicer. So if you're going to Vegas, Sahara over Circus, if the distance doesn't bother you, because the price was very similar. Love your vids, especially the hardware wallet one, explaining it all in detail. It's a must watch for any serious new investor. I agree. Like, I was telling people that I was talking to some people who were into like the metaverse NFT space, and at the one Nagaboo party, and I was just telling them like, it's very important getting your wallet security right, because if you're in the stuff that does like 100x, 1000x, that little bit of money you have in crypto could turn into a lot fast, and you got to protect it before you do something that forces you to use that wallet. However it is, like if you do a hex stake normally through a MetaMask wallet, then you're kind of stuck with that wallet for the rest of the time. So you might as well have it as secure as possible on a hardware wallet before you get started. Now, I have an idea for how maybe for new onboards there is a better way to get people started, so they don't actually need the hardware wallet right away, but they have the optionality to move to something more secure once they understand it better. I'm still designing how I want to go about that. But You're very, very correct. That's why I make those videos, because nothing is more important than you maintaining control over your keys. Because if someone else ever gets access, you're sharing access. And if they think if they don't like you a lot, they're more than likely going to take everything you have and forget about you. So you got to protect yourself as best as you can in crypto. So that's why I put those videos out. I mean, and on the other side, like even because it's like, oh, K4K, why do you want to help people for free or whatever? And it's like, well, on also the price chart, if someone is going to get hacked and then the hacker has all the money and they don't really care about whatever crypto they got, they're just going to dump it for USDC or something. They're going to hammer the price, not give a crap, get out, get into something that they can mix and get away with. So it's good for the price if everyone is as secure as possible. And I do care about the hex price in that regard too. But I also I don't want to see hexagons getting hacked. Like, I think it was terrible that Hex 19, who gave us the second biggest payday, he got hacked for like hundreds of millions of hex. And, he didn't deserve that. He did his research. He got into crypto. He looked into Richard Hart and he went all in, not all in, but he got a lot of hex early on, and then he gets hacked and and hurts the price. Luckily, it was staked so far out that the guy actually didn't really get to sell too much hex, because to unstake that stuff would just turn it into zero, because it was so far out that he didn't serve enough of the term that they didn't really have much to sell. And so, and what they ended up doing is they just stopped unstaking his stuff. And but the first ones that they did, it caused a big payout in hex terms to everybody who was staked. So you actually got like a huge amount of hex per T share you had during that time. But hey, that wasn't good for him. But now he's got his security under lock, and that shouldn't happen to him again. So you can either learn from other people's mistakes, or you can be what people learn from. And I'd rather learn from other people's mistakes than be one myself. So I put it out there for everybody, so you guys can all make your own decisions about protecting yourself. I recommend Hardware Wallet. So if you guys watch my videos on my channel, I have links in the description for how to get the right hardware wallet from the right place, so you don't get wrecked ordering from the wrong place and you might get a bad item, because you really should only order it from the official Trezor website. So check out the links in the description if you want to get the legit link. So we're supposed to start no more meetups. They're all going to be rich. Also, no more meetups. I think it's going to be the opposite. I think you're going to see more meetups. I think there's going to, like, we have a cruise coming up. Hexologist wants to go to Disney World, I think in Florida. So like we already have more plans coming out, and I've heard of other people coming up with more ideas of what they want to do, because people they're like, hey, I have all this money and I want to throw this thing for hexagons so that we can all have a great time together and meet each other. And that's basically what we're making these events for. Also, we get to use it for marketing as well. I think it's very long-term thinking to do this stuff in the bear market, because we can always look back and be like, yo, what community was crushing it during the bear market, talking about how awesome the future is going to be if we all participate, if we all wait and delay gratification. Which group was that? Oh, only the Hex community was having these amazing what do you call them, events happening during the bear market, and we all knew what the future held back then. So I'm really glad that we're going to have this to look back on, like, oh, that was at the 95% dip. This is what we were all doing during a 95% dip. So I think from outside looking in, people are going to be like, what? How could they have been doing that? Like, how could you be down on 95 and having this much fun and looking this rich and doing all of this cool stuff? I think it's actually great for marketing purposes down the line. So I think we're going to have more of these events, not less, as more people get rich. That's coins, credit cards, very well put together. Yeah, Circus is nasty. So bad. Did I take the zip line at Fremont? No, I did not. Circus Super Bowl. It used to be SLS Hotel. New name change. Not sure what SLS is, but that'd be cool. Disneyland and thousands together. Yeah, thing that Only the marketing we'd be doing. Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome because imagine there's also way more people in Disney World, and so you might actually strike up conversations with people in line about crypto. Whereas whenever we're like in a penthouse party or a mansion party that's invite only, like there's really only going to maybe be a 10% differential of like who's already in versus like who just happened to know somebody who told them to show up. Like that's how many extra people who aren't into your thing are going to show up to those type of parties and events. But in Disney World or Disneyland, like 99% of the people there are not probably in crypto. So I think it'll be really cool to like go up and ask people questions about crypto while in the park and just having fun. So, and you get to reach into that audience of people who love Disney World or love Disney, and then you're also in crypto, then you kind of bridge that gap of familiarity and they might be more open to talking about crypto if you're into Disney World. So, going to all these cool places, I think, you're just reaching into different pockets and, sharing good opportunities with people. So much for all your videos. It has helped me so much. Thanks for all your hard work. I watch all of them. You are awesome. Thank you, Daniel. That's so nice. Very much appreciate that. Let's see how many. Let's see. Oh,
Okay, no, wait, I'm giving this
Up on the angle and then aim it right at the flag. So go left. Way left. Oh, the flag right there. Yeah.
oh my.
shot.
The shooting golf balls? Dude, imagine hitting somebody with that. That's gotta hurt.
No, not the window. No. Oh, shit. No.
Wow. There we go. There's our boy. Oh yeah, New York City meetup. I heard there is something coming up, so I gotta like prepare for that too. There may be another meetup happening in. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it yet because I think they were telling me that it's like still being worked out, but they were wondering if I was interested. So I live near-ish to New York City, so I'm interested in going there and meeting some people too. So yeah, I think there's gonna be even more meetups happening. What's up, D-Gens? What's up, K4K? What's up? Bam, bam. Hold my precious until after Pulsecon launches. Corey mentioned in mid-October. Oh, word. Yeah, that'd be super cool. There's the captain. I love how he put on that awesome captain outfit like in the middle of the party. It was super cool. I wasn't expecting it at all. Cosmic Cowboy. What's up? So good. And we're just going to speed through some of these. Oh, these are people on the walkway. Nice. Dude, I love Corey and Investors. His music is so good. He basically just goes through, like if you listen to the lyrics, it's just like, it's almost like he's rapping Richard Hart's like spiel, I guess, about Hex and understanding crypto, but it's in a rap and you can like dance to it. It's like, okay, let's go, dude. I love that. I would love to be on a track one day just for fun. Check the inside of your hat, see if there is a website. Oh, word. There's this. Oh, what's happening? Oh, my hair's crazy today. Howdy, K4K from Oz. What's up? What's up, Brenton? Pulsec makes me a multimillionaire. I will sponsor a football team in Europe. Hex on Pulsec, or Hex and Pulsec's Pulse Chain logo. That's legit. No, that'd be so awesome. I think as the bull market comes and people are actually making gains in crypto again, first we need people to sell the bottom so that we can go back up. And all the other stuff that's going on with like the Fed raising rates and all that and the election coming up. I had some really good talks with some people. Like I'm still digesting what they're saying because it really does seem, this election coming up, we may eventually see some more printing, depending how it goes, which should mean more upside for risk on assets like crypto. So maybe around election time, So maybe in November, like Richard's been saying. I think in November marks like the year mark for the bear, which historically 365 days is as long as the bear market goes. And we might see that in November. So look forward to that. But once people start making like mad gains in crypto again and we're off to the races, I think we're going to see more and more sponsorships from people in the Hex community getting the word out there, which is great during the bull market. And I think a lot of these old influencers in crypto, like, BitBoy, the Moon, I shouldn't even say these people's names because like they're sending people in the meat grinder constantly. And that's why they get all this attention, because they claim that they can trade, or they're like, hey, this coin's going to do great. Get this, use my link, get wrecked. They leave crypto forever, but they don't leave the subscribe. So they have all these followers. That's why they have like no engagement on all their stuff, because they sent so many people into the meat grinder, getting traded, like getting wrecked from trading, losing all their money, paying for paid groups that don't pay off, and then getting dumped on, and eventually they leave crypto, but they don't leave their subscribe or follow on Twitter, and so I think those people will actually end up promoting Pulse Chain somewhat, or they'll at least make some videos about it, and that's going to be a lot of coverage, at least, for their channels, and hopefully the people who do find that end up getting into something better, and then not falling for the rest of their garbage for a while. Hopefully it eventually changes their behavior as well to just being a participant, and instead of like an adversary and helping all this other stuff get people wrecked. So a lot of them sacrifice for Pulse Chain and PulseX, so they have bags, and it's in their best interest now to actually talk about them. So the more they talk about them, the more they may see the price increase. So they may actually see benefit in talking about these projects that are actually good for people. They give power back to people. And so I'm looking forward to all these influencers like BitBoy and stuff promoting it. Like, he is one of the biggest shows in crypto. And if he's talking about Pulse Chain, PulseX, and the world's largest airdrop, I think that's bullish for price. And same with that movie coming out, by the end of the year. So that's going to be a lot of new eyeballs in the system. I'm very excited about that. There's a lot of good things coming up. Like, it's a perfect storm of win coming. I think a lot of people are just wary about getting in because we're waiting for that 11K bottom, and we don't know about what the Fed rates are going to look like in a few months, and the election coming up. So there's like a lot of reasons people aren't aping in, even though we're at a nice dip. So I'm thinking about making a nice video for people learning about the value of dollar cost averaging in, so you don't end up being left behind, but you also feel like you got the best deal at the time with the information you had. So we'll probably come out with a dollar cost video, which is surprising. I don't think I've actually made like a dedicated dollar costing in video. And I think that's just a general good strategy that a lot of people don't take in. Like, they'll like, oh, I have this much money, I'll just put it in now. And then they really are worried about the price in the next few days and all that. And then they feel terrible because they didn't get in at 10% lower, 20% lower. And they could have just been dollar cost averaging in. So probably make a video on that in the next coming days. Yeah, keep an eye out. Try and stay up to date with what's coming out and what the Hexkins are working on, because you come to these events, you'll be surprised at the opportunities presented to you. I was airdropping so much Hex info to people's phones when I was in Disney earlier. Oh, nice. Yeah, someone was telling me that you can like send, you can airdrop with like iPhone to people's phones if they don't have it turned off, and so a lot of people just don't. So you can get them to go to hex.com. Yeah, not a bad idea if you're just chilling somewhere. Like, just see if you can get it airdropped to somebody. Over most subs that the engagement isn't there in the bear market and that they showed crap in general. Yep. Like, it really does feel like we're a part of a different community entirely. That's what it feels like. Now, that's why I also want to go and infiltrate these other communities, just to see what are their talking points, what are they excited about, do they have the core fundamentals of why crypto was invented instilled in their project? Like, are they dealing like, imagine you go to a conference for Celsius whenever it was out, and you're like, oh yeah, this seems safe. Like you get 7%. They just hold your keys. I'd be like, wait, why are you okay with them holding your keys? You know, they can just exit scam at any moment, right? And so, like, imagine if we were able to go to the Celsius. I don't know if they had events or anything like that. But imagine if we were able to go there and change the minds of a select few in their community, and then it would reverberate throughout their community with the better knowledge, the help you not get wrecked knowledge that we have. So I think that'll be an interesting path I might take for talking to a lot of new people in crypto, and I think it'll be fun, even though I'm talking to people who probably won't like what I have to say. I think that's how we get some good outbound messaging going. Apparently there was like a belly dancer out there. I missed it. This was the place it was held at, which is pretty cool. Power City, Pulse Chain, DJ Lethal. Awesome night. This was some Stripperville thing. I think it's like a metaverse thing. Let's see here. Just gonna speed run some of this, see if anything pops up. Nice. I wonder if that's at... Is that the same penthouse building? The Palms, maybe? Oh yeah, there's like that bar called Hex or whatever. Oh yeah, there was a guy. I guess I can give him a shout out because he's pretty cool. He's working in well, this is Crypto Coffee and SJ. A Wild SJ. She actually makes videos on YouTube. Check her out, A Wild SJ. She reads Sci-Vive, Richard Hart's book, and his second book called I think it's 15 Ways to Fix the World. And so she reads it out so you don't have to like read it yourself. You can actually have a nice human reading it to you at a good pace, and she does a good job. So that's what she does, and everybody knows Crypto Coffee in the Hex community. He does great stuff. He got to ride or drive a Lambo, which was loaned to him while he was in Vegas by somebody in the community who in California, they own like a bunch of like fancy sports cars, and they're also into Hex, but they're letting like Hexicans, make content with them and do stuff like that. Oh, what is it? What is their name? It's like Hex. Does anybody remember their name? I would like to give them a shout out, but anyway, at some point, if I go to California, I'll probably end up reaching out to them. I only know them like on Instagram currently, but yeah, pretty sweet to have Hexkins like helping other Hexkins out in the community. Really cool. So many cool events. Like if any of this looks cool, oh, that was hopefully we don't get banned for that one. I'm not gonna go back to that one. Let's see. Is that Access alive? I actually didn't get to meet him in the middle. That was a good time. There's Gerardo, dollar cost. Really good. Oh, yeah, I got to meet Gerardo. Or I met him before at a Hex conference, but really cool talking with them. I even got to talk with the Mintra team. We rode a party bus. If you want to see some of that, that's on my Instagram. So Instagram.com/K4K crypto. If you want to check that out, there's some photos that aren't uploaded anywhere else. I think they're pretty fun. Got to meet the one fighter guy who's in our community. I think we have several. His name, he goes by M2 the King, or M2 the K, M2 Thack. But he was like iced out with like some crazy medallion with like a eagle of diamonds. He had cool rings and stuff. But yeah, he was at one of the parties. Super fun guy, super cool. Got to talk to him about Hex, and I think he gets the gist of it, but we went into a little bit more depth, and it was a good conversation. So really cool meeting these people. I think he has like 3.7 million followers on Instagram or something like that, and he's in the Hex community. So it's like we are growing. We're not disintegrating. We just keep growing as the Hex community. It's a really good time. So anyway, I think I'm gonna call the video here. I just wanted to show you guys like some of the cool stuff that happened and talk about some of the cool events. Oh yeah, well, one other cool thing I got to do for anyone who's interested was a super sweet what do you call it? Like, if you ever seen those Caterpillar huge industrial diggers or bulldozers, there was like an event where we got to go and dig with them. So I have some of that footage, I think, on my Instagram if you want to check that out. But you got to use like one of those 6-ton excavators to like, you know, the big buckets. You can dig with them. I never thought I'd ever drive one of those things. But there's like a service inside of Las Vegas where they let you use this like super powerful equipment with like an instructor from outside who tells you what to use. Cause like it's very lots of control you have there with a very powerful machine. So it's surprising that they're legally allowed to allow people to use that. But it was pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, dig it. Should call it out. I got my certification that I am able to dig it or whatever the heck. It was super fun. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I don't think there's any other questions in the chat, so I'm gonna head out, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.